We'll back. Muted. Excellent, excellent. Apparently my guitar neck is visible. Let's see. The backwards madness. This up. Oh, good. This stream prepared for anything. Oops. There we go. Now I can see that. Here. There it is. How's everyone doing? Hey, mister. Hey, Madness. Hey, Wombat. Ah. My cable here unhooked. Ooh, how y'all doing? We're gonna have a good time. I didn't set this up. It's just, man, she just gives me the freest freaking faces possible. Vibration mode. I think Candace accidentally sat on something sharp. I think she's boofing. Oh, am I quiet? It's probably because I was far away. I'm having to, I have a lot of audio to adjust that I have not really been able to get around to. And like 7 of my plugins are not working with Windows 11. And I have no idea how to get them working yet, so... Yeah, it's going to take a little time. It's going to take a little time. I need to sit down, get some time to actually fix all my audio settings. I imported everything over from my old computer. And this was about, like, how long ago is this now? 3 months ago, I think? About 3 months ago when I finally... Last computer I had built 9 years ago. 9 years ago I built that computer. So, yeah. Had a 1080 in it and all that. I managed to finally scrape together enough to get a 5080 and 7800X, I think. So pretty good. I was wanting to upgrade back when the 3080 came out. That's how, like, crappy it's been to have my other computer and work on, because it was only a quad-core system. It couldn't handle all the audio and stuff that I was running at the time very easily. So it was not a good multitasking computer at all. It was kind of a one window at a time computer. Now I finally have a computer that can kind of handle it, but man, Windows 11 is so buggy. This computer crashes on me constantly. Constantly. Like, and it's just always another patch, another update I gotta find to fix this issue. Oh, here's a bunch of Windows stuff that's running in the background that needs to be deactivated that's causing crashes. I mean, it's been a mess. It's a nightmare. Windows 11 is probably one of the worst operating systems I think I've ever had to deal with. And I grew up on Windows 95 for the most part. Windows 98 was probably the longest lasting operating system in my household. I think we had Windows 98 for almost 10 years. It's kind of crazy. We had Windows 98 when it came out. And no, it wasn't quite 10 years. We got rid of it in 2006. Upgraded to Windows XP. Straight from there. Missed Windows 2000. Missed Windows Vista. You know, we did not want to... I mean, it was so quick. When Windows Vista came out, everyone hated it so much. It was just like, yeah, we're not getting that. And so just waited, you know? No. Vista wasn't great, but Windows 8 probably takes the cake on most of it, I'd say. Did you all experience Windows 8? That was a wild one. They made your entire computer into a smartphone. It was garbage. It was so bad. I definitely have to give it to Windows 8. Windows 8's probably the worst operating system out of them all. Windows 11 is really approaching that. Not with functionality. It still looks like Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows XP. Obviously, the Windows 95, Windows 98 platforms, they're all kind of on that, I guess you could say. It always goes back to their original Windows 3.0 coding. It's always funny how they can never get away from that, really. But the moment they try to leave it, it's garbage. I don't know what they're doing with Windows 11 here, though. But oh my god. It is unbelievably frustrating how much bloatware there is in it. And it's everywhere. They have it hidden. They have so many things that you can't even access to turn off whatsoever, that nobody has figured out how to freaking turn off yet. It just runs and runs, and with all these nice newer parts, it's great. But Windows bogs it down so much you can't even, it's not that good. It sucks. Video games suffer majorly on it. It's just a mess. It really is a disappointment, because I was like, man, I can't wait to upgrade to a 5080, and it's like, yeah, the video game performance isn't that much better because Windows bogs every freaking thing down. Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot of problems. I'm really hoping that this can get there. Yeah, I'm gonna get to the show. I'm waiting on people to show up, though. You know, I don't want to just start off. Typically, I'll end up peaking right around, not peaking, I'll probably get closer to like 80 to 100 people in here at one time. So when those people kind of get in here, I like to start the show so that way I don't have to stop and repeat myself like 7 or 8 different times, you know what I mean? Just happens. Happens that way. I try to not slow down the show, because then, the show will end up being like 3 hours long over a 45-minute video. ME? What was Windows ME? I don't actually remember that one. Windows ME. That's interesting. Windows ME. Okay, it just went to Windows Media Creation Tool. What is that garbage? Okay. Oh, is it? Okay, Final DOS-based consumer operating system. Was this the one that, I wonder if this is the one that good old Papa John's was still running on. I may have used this. Papa John's ran on, like, a DOS-type system for a long time, and it was really bad. Really, really bad. Alrighty, let's see. Rose, okay. Well, I think now probably is a good time to start the show. Seems like Monday. Nobody probably expected me to go live, so it seems like it's going to be a slow trickle in. I might not have a choice but to just repeat myself several times then. Alrighty, let me move this back. And, yeah, let's get the show going.
All right, you guys, happy Monday.
Ooh,
it's looking like war with Iran. Ladies and gentlemen, war with Iran. I don't know how many Goya must die for the...
Oh, wait a minute. Before I start this, let me put a poll up. I want to put a poll up, because this will be fun. This will be very fun. You guys will know what it is, too. Let's see here. Start a poll. Here we go. You guys will have fun with this. Candace Owens will say don't vote, or vote Democrat. And then I'll just put yes or no. What do you guys think? I'll redo it. She will. Okay, here we go. Oh, now more people are coming in now. Good thing I did wait. She won't. Okay, there we go. Have fun with this one, guys. I'd like to see what y'all are going to think about this. Because I think Candace Owens will either say don't vote, or she will say vote Democrat. I think she's going to fall right in line with that. What do you guys think? I'd like to know your answer on this one. I think this will be an interesting bet. We could be wrong. So vote with your gut.
Khazarian Empire to be reinstalled, but can I just say that they really did a good job gaslighting us last year, didn't they? They just lie. It's amazing how they lie. You guys are panicins. That's what they called us, panicins. After Operation Midnight Hammer, which was Trump agreeing on a limited strike on Iran's nuclear sites. We told you the truth back then. They wanted a full-scale war. That's what Bibi wanted. That's what the Zion...
Well, why are you ignoring the whole fact, though, that, like, Trump from the very beginning has been saying they cannot have a nuclear weapon, and he said they need to get on this nuclear deal. On the campaign trail, he literally was saying Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. You know what I mean? Pretty cut and dry, pretty simple. And then he comes in and he goes, hey, do a nuclear deal with us. And they're like, no. And he's like, do a nuclear deal with us. And they're like, no. And he's like, do a nuclear deal. And they're like, and he was like, you will certainly die if you don't. And then they were like, and then Trump blew him up. I mean, was it that hard to predict? But it's still limited strikes. You know what I mean? Oh, don't worry. You're not late. You're not too late. We're only a few seconds in, so no worries.
Around Trump wanted, and the one person who stood between America's involvement with a full-scale war in Iran was Charlie Kirk.
Oh, I didn't pause it quick enough. I was gonna say Charlie Kirk.
With Charlie Kirk, he was at the White House, and he convinced Trump that it was a terrible idea that would crater his support and ruin his legacy. He and his minions, they were angry about that. Charlie Kirk, 31-year-old, he's the person that's stopping us from getting what we want. It is my personal belief that that is the very reason that they colluded to have that obstacle eventually removed just months.
So they had to collude with France and the Mormons and, what was the newest one that she came up with that, people, oh yeah, Lori, Franz-Vey, Erika, they had to get so many people in there, right? No, get a load of this, guys. This is why they did it. This is exactly what Candace just said. This is the reason why they ended Charlie Kirk. However, they literally put people with him to control him since he was a little kid, okay? Just in case somehow, someday, Charlie Kirk got close enough to the president to be able to tell him not to get involved in Middle Eastern wars. And he also traveled through time. I don't know how you're going to work that time travel thing in there, but that's one of those things that, you know, it's a paradox, right? When you time travel, you mess with the universe. So, you know, kind of like the Trunks arc, right? You go back in time, you screw things up, things don't go the same. So maybe that's just why. We'll just give her a pass on that.
Later. That's what my timeline reveals to me. That it is very likely a plan was set in motion after Charlie beat Bibi's desires at the White House. Now, I believe on the basis of evidence that Charlie's murder was likely a very sophisticated military operation.
What evidence do you have to even suggest that would even make you go that way? That this would be a really, really crazy military operation? Would you like to share with the class, Candace? Like, I hate asking every single time, but I feel like if we don't, we're just going to get content. So I'm going to continue to just ask for it. Can you please show me any evidence that you're basing this off of, that this was military involved whatsoever? Anything. Please, just even a little bit. Just a tiny little smidgen of evidence. Please, Candace. I'd really like to see. Let's see here. Maxinista said, hi, any chance you'll look into the alleged CU email smear email? Which one was that again? Like the CU... What's the CU email? What do you mean? Because I pulled one open yesterday and I looked into an email that showed her... Well, it was a video that showed me her grandfather being connected to Sandy Hook. Is that the one you're talking about? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, it's current how the convenient news thing always fits right into her narrative. That is absolutely well put, Mr. Lapento. That's, yeah, absolutely. It is amazing, isn't it? God, look at those eyes, evil. Yeah, they are. Well, I don't know if this is the eyes of evil. This looks like the eyes of, you know the people they put on a short bus?
That was meant, and here's the funny part, this is how insane these people are. Ironically, they wanted his murder to galvanize American support behind Israel. That was their plan. That's why Bibi immediately got on the air to remind you all how much he loved Israel.
Okay, any proof? Please?
Right? They wanted to all get out there and say that because they didn't want us to learn that Charlie had actually abandoned their cause entirely.
Proof, please. I want to know. I want to see proof that he abandoned their cause entirely. Look at that smug look. Yeah, he did.
So Charlie was removed, and in his place, we got a Shabbat Shalomin, not so grieving widow. This is the book my Charlie wanted you to read. He just finished it. He loves the Jews. He was talking about that book in several interviews, too.
Crazy.
Just finished speaking about how much he loves to Shabbat and to Shalom and to say daddy's home and to throw down his phone, Barry Weiss.
Did I miss something? What the hell was that? Okay.
It's just incredible when you think about it all coming together. Who are you, Erika Kirk? I seek to know. Welcome back.
Her name was Erika Franzve, and then she became Erika Kirk. And you've dug into all of her past, so I think you do know. And I think that's why you keep dragging this out.
Back to Bride of Charlie.
I'm not going to risk any copyright strike on this, even though I'm pretty sure she AI'd that. There we go.
I'm going to be honest. There are some words.
Finally. Let's see if this rings out true.
That I want to echo out like a battle cry. Here they are.
Do it.
President Donald Trump has said, I will not allow Iran
What
to
was
get a
this?
nuclear weapon because he has said when crazy
Whoa. That was the worst transition I've ever seen in my life. What was that?
people have weapons of unthinkable violence, you have to deal in reality. The longer I live, the more I realize that puritanical, ideological approaches to situations like this are not helpful. On one side is the Lindsey Graham, John Bolton types, where they are actively calling for regime change.
Yes. And during the time that they were actively calling for regime change, Trump was like, listen, that's a last resort. Let me negotiate first. And he kept trying to negotiate the nuclear deal. And he kept trying to negotiate the nuclear deal. And then he kept trying to negotiate the nuclear deal. And he pushed off the deadline several times. And as a matter of fact, Republicans were calling him weak for doing that. And finally, he was like, this is the final deadline. Make the deal, or you will surely die. Those were Trump's words. And guess what he didn't do? He didn't make the deal. Then he got blown up. Again, is anybody surprised that that happened? What do you think happens when a United States president says, if you don't do this, I'm going to fire a missile into your house? Well, they're supposed to fire a missile into your house because it would be a really dumb idea in general to tell them you're going to do that and then not do it. Because then nobody's going to take you serious when you don't do it. Remember when Obama told Russia that they crossed a red line and then they crossed it again and then he did nothing? You don't want to put yourself in a position like that. Now, I understand. Obama striking, it would have been World War III and we would all be dead right now. So that was a dumb idea for Obama to be like, you crossed a red line, because then Russia's like, you just gave us all the power. Because now I'm going to do it. I'm going to cross that red line, and then I'm going to wait for you guys to strike us because we didn't throw the first punch. It's a bad position to put yourself in. But when you're Iran, guess what? You don't have that leverage because you don't have a nuke. So when Trump says he's going to bomb you, he will actually bomb you. You're not going to see Trump make that threat to China or Russia. But if he does make that threat to them, I actually imagine he would go through with it, unlike Obama. But it's a stupid idea to put yourself in a position where they can actually try to call your bluff. Because it's a really risky move at that point. Really, really risky. Iran, it was not that risky at all. There's nothing to risk. Who's going to attack us? It's not going to be a good idea, you know what I mean? The most we're going to get is, like, suicide guys. I don't want to say the full thing. I shouldn't have said the first part. We're going to get bombers, you know what I mean? And dudes with, vests. Durkin around the place, you know what I mean? That's the worst it'll get around the United States. And yes, that is bad. That's not great. But we can handle them, you know what I mean? We can catch most of them before they even do the act. See what I'm saying? While they will do little acts like that, that's the most they'll be able to do. They don't have nuclear weapons. They can't do anything to us physically. They're not going to be able to wipe out our nation. They're just going to be able to hurt us a little bit. And see, that's a little bit different on the power scale. And I mean, everybody knows that, you know? But anyway, it's just stupidity. It's pure stupidity that they forgot that that happened that way. They're acting like Trump just went full neocon, and that's not the case. He gave them a freaking deadline. And they chose not to work with them.
Here is Lindsey Graham. This is just lunacy. We
Yeah,
want to
I agree.
go all
Oh,
in
she's not gonna
and
show it?
take
Okay.
out the regime. It's time for us to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen and start a new chapter in the Middle East. And that sounds good, doesn't it? But what have we learned when it comes to wars, and especially wars in the Middle East? What you draw up on a whiteboard rarely happens. What you think theoretically is going to occur, there might be unintended and unforeseen consequences, especially when you're talking about a country 2.5 times the size of Texas. It has 90 million people and was an ancient and great power with well over a dozen ethnic groups. Who's going to run the country exactly, Lindsey Graham? This sounds like Hillary Rodham Clinton in Libya. So I'm pointing to the first extreme right now, the neoconservative extreme.
I agree. I agree with Charlie 100%. But the issue is Donald Trump actually legitimately tried to negotiate with them. No other president would have done that. Obama wouldn't have done that. Bush wouldn't have done that. They would have just attacked. Biden definitely wouldn't have done that. He didn't even try to negotiate at all. He just gave people our stuff. See, at least Trump actually tried, and I can give him respect for that. Even if he ended up falling flat, he did try. He didn't want to get us involved. He wanted us to just make a good deal with them and then have them do their garbage. You know what I mean? You guys can do whatever garbage you want as long as you're not developing a nuclear weapon. And they said no. And Trump said, you guys can't have one. And they said, we will make one. And then he's like, okay, bye-bye. That's it. He tried. And did Obama try? Did Biden try? And did Bush try? Never. There was never negotiating. They never negotiated. It's ridiculous.
We must go take off the head of the snake right now. And Donald Trump is doing a phenomenal job of resisting these calls for regime change.
You didn't skip that part, Candace. That was a mistake, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Ayatollah is awful. But maybe he's one of the few guys that can keep that country together and not have a 90 million person civil war.
Maybe. But maybe they don't have a civil war this time. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know. Do I think it's likely? No, I think they're going to end up fighting. I think it's going to end up a big mess. I do. But at the end of the day, there's always the chance that maybe Trump can figure something out with this whole mess. Maybe there is something that can happen. I don't know what that would be. I really don't. Maybe Iran turns into a drone state and we don't have to put people on the ground at all. We just have drones and we're like, hey, any radicals? We catch you trying anything? We're going to pop this drone into you very quickly before you can even push the button. You know what I mean? And maybe it gives Iran that possible chance to actually rebuild into a good society. We might not have to have boots on the ground at all. And if we don't, I'm actually going to be satisfied. If we don't have to put boots on the ground, I'm not going to worry too much. That's just my opinion on it. Other people may have a different opinion. Other people may be like, no, that's still disgusting. And it's like, fair enough. I'm not going to challenge anybody on that. I'm just going to tell you, as long as our guys aren't dying, at the end of the day, it's not going to bother me nearly as much. And as long as we are actually doing something to help Iran become a civilized country, you know what I mean? That I won't have a problem with. If we end up just making them like a crazy prison state or doing something crazy like that, then obviously it's not good. But I have faith in our country. At least I'd like to. I haven't given up yet. But we'll see what happens.
Lindsey Graham is so consistently out of his mind, it's hard to even comprehend. I honestly don't think the neoconservative extreme needs to be represented philosophically anymore. It's uninteresting to me. They've done a mess of Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, the entire Middle East, Ukraine. We know what the neoconservatives
this is AA for
believe.
Candace Owens fans. No.
Oh, Charlie, if only you knew that they're trying to convince us that the legacy of Turning Point USA is actually neocons. Neocons will be opening for AmFest, people that want war, people who are cheering about regime change in Iran today.
No one's cheering necessarily for that. But Iranian citizens are, and that's something to at least be respected and thought about, right, Candace? Like, at least the Iranian people are actually dancing in the streets, and guess what? They're not getting killed for it anymore. I think that's probably pretty good.
Wife is going to hand over the keys to. Try to convince us that that wasn't your perspective, that you didn't have issues with these people philosophically and morally, right?
Then tell me what the issues were and show me proof.
Moral blackmail, what these people were doing to you in the end. By the way, have we heard anything from that new CEO and chairman of Turning Point USA? Any statement over the weekend underscoring what Charlie's beliefs were? She loved Charlie, which, like I said, explains why she must have invited all of his enemies to sort of hostilely take over what he built.
She never, what are you talking about? Name one enemy that she brought over. He literally interviewed Ben Shapiro the day before he died. He wasn't an enemy. That's so crazy to think about. Like, you tell me that Charlie didn't like Ben Shapiro, and you show kind of proof to be like, hey, he kind of didn't like Ben Shapiro-ish proof anyway, but I'll take it as proof anyway. Okay, that doesn't mean Ben Shapiro felt the same way about Charlie, though. You never showed that aspect. And as far as I'm concerned, Ben Shapiro always respected Charlie. He came on his show frequently. He literally came on the Charlie Kirk show the day before Charlie Kirk was shot. And they had an 2-hour long discussion. Why weren't you on the Charlie Kirk show? When was the last time he interviewed you or got your opinion on anything? Like, literally, I'd like to know. I actually want to look it up. Let's do this real quick. Oh, I was in the middle of watching a Dickie Dines. Oh, man, I don't want to. Okay, I'm going to put this over here. I'm not going to close out of it. I got to watch that later. They're going over signature guitars. Let's do this. Okay, Charlie Kirk show. I'm pretty sure it was on the Charlie Kirk show, right? Ben Shapiro. Yeah, 5 months ago.
Let your patriotic...
He joins Ben Shapiro right here 5 months ago, September 9th, 2025. Just like I said, right? Bam. Now let's see Candace. Let's see the last time he had Candace on. When was that? A year ago, they uploaded a video with Candace Owens. 2 months ago, they talk about her, Candace Owens, 2 years ago. Okay, so it's been at least a year since she's been on his channel at all. He hadn't talked to her for the whole year on his channel. But he was getting Ben Shapiro on. He was getting Ben Shapiro. Let's see how many times, too. Ben Shapiro. Let's see, Ben Shapiro here 5 months ago. 8 months ago. Okay. I don't want to hear that song blasting. I had to visit the statue. What's this? What does this have to do with Ben Shapiro? What? That was weird. Anyway, let's see. By popular demand, must maybe he only had been on that one recent time. Odd. I thought he had him on a little bit more than that. Maybe it's not on this show. What's the other show that he does his podcast stuff with? He has many different ones. I'll have to look at it later. But he had been on way before he had Candace on. I don't know. But that was just also a speaking event. It wasn't even like a discussion on his show. She hasn't been on there. I don't think he ever tried to get her opinion. So, who knows? These
people are shameless. So shameless, in fact, that over the weekend, his quote-unquote best friends...
Is my audio level too high?
Despite us being able to clearly hear what Charlie felt about Iran, about the idea of regime change in Iran, his best friends, the amazing McCoy and, of course, wargaming Blake Neff, actually got into his studio and shared this. Take a listen.
Let's hear it.
He also always did have trust with the president, and he would look for the bright side of things. And he was an American patriot, so he would pray for our success once that began. And I just want to say that to offer...
Did he have an opinion on... wait, I thought Trump did it after he passed away. What was that? Where was Charlie Kirk's opinion? Charlie Kirk, bomb Iran. Let's see. I gotta find that then. Charlie Kirk was apparently one person to stand in the way of the U.S. military.
I believe are real. Even
for Israel, no attacks on Israel, just advice on how to fight lies and reach the next generation.
I am learning.
That is so freaking loud. Sorry, guys. It is blowing my eardrums out, and I look over, and it's blowing your guys' out, too, and I'm just sitting here taking it for some reason.
Biblical Hebrew and writing a book on the Shabbat. I honor the Shabbat, literally the Jewish Sabbath. I visit Israel and fight for it. President Donald Trump, 10 years ago, said two things. Iraq war was a bloody catastrophe and a disaster, and it will never happen again, and Iran cannot get a nuclear weapon. Only President Donald Trump can hold both those things in his hands. Only President Trump, with prudence and practicality and wisdom, is able to weigh them both, thread the needle and walk the tightrope. President Donald Trump is a man made for this moment, and we should trust him.
Okay, that's not quite the one. Oh, here it is. I think. Charlie supported limited precision strikes in Iran, February 28th. Here we go, Gary. Iran gave President Trump no choice. For a decade, he has been adamant that Iran will never get a nuclear weapon. Iran decided to forego diplomacy in pursuit of a bomb. This is a surgical strike operated perfectly. President Trump acted with prudence and decisiveness. Exactly. How is it that I can always, literally, I can always sit here and be like, this is what Charlie Kirk would have said. I didn't even know this, this happened in June. I thought the strikes for some reason happened in August, and I didn't think he had posted anything. I mean, he would have passed away September 10th, so of course he still would have been around for a month, but for some reason I just had it in my head that he wouldn't have seen it, or that he wouldn't have commented on it yet. But very clearly, Charlie Kirk, this debunks every single claim about how Charlie Kirk felt about Iran. Candace Owens is dead wrong on everything from here on out. Like, this is just crazy. Like, want to say anything? Like, for real. This is so crazy. So we struck them in June. It happened in June last year when we destroyed their nuclear facilities. Sent those bunker busters down. And Charlie Kirk said Trump had no choice but to do that. That Iran left him with no choice. There you go. What else do you want, Candace? Nothing can take this away. Also, Gary, why are you not using dark mode? What kind of
person?
I actually believe Gary was probably a sniper. You know, someone like that would be using white mode for sure. Someone who could just... I'm just playing. No, seriously, who uses white mode? Who uses light mode? That's crazy. Just hurts my eyes.
Perspective on how I think he would have felt about this. And that's not to use Charlie as a shield. That is not to use, say, everything just revolves around him, because he's not with us.
So I wouldn't challenge Candace into a cage fight, because I'd have to first confirm that she actually does have a dong before I'd do that. If she does, hey, maybe. Okay. If not, look, I'm not gonna stoop to that level
anymore. But I know people, all of us are feeling the lack of Charlie in a moment like this, because he was a natural leader of the movement.
Well, I think that's also, like, as soon as all of this broke out, you saw that social media immediately went to go find Charlie clips, because he still is, even in death, like the leading voice on a matter like this.
Well, and sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and it makes me upset, though, because for these people that didn't actually know Charlie, like Blake, you said it, in private, he would be not happy with the situation. And he would express his thoughts. You would oftentimes see him talk about it on the show. But then as soon as this would happen, he would have trust in the president. He would try to calm people down. And so it's really irritating for me to see so many people on social media have the opposite reaction, to use his voice to actually cause chaos, to actually cause fear of the situation, to actually cause hatred of president.
Right, because Charlie would at least be like, look, I don't agree with what happened here, but let's calm down and see where this goes first. It's already happening. We don't have to pretend it's the end of the world until we see the end of the world. Okay? That's essentially what he's doing. He's like, yes, this may be the worst possible decision Trump could have made, but let's at least see if it actually is before we say it was. Okay? It's really that simple. This could have also been the best possible thing Trump could have done. Because allow me to put a different scenario into your heads. What if, after, and this is a big what if, we're not going to know until it happens. I'm not saying this is going to happen. Just calm down for a second and think about the possibilities on both ends. Instead of thinking about World War III, what if Iran does completely take over their country and become a free country again like they were 47 years ago? And what if they start building nice colleges and they start having a really nice society? a really nice state that becomes a partner of the United States. And what if now, because we bought 0% of our oil, 0% of our oil came from Iran. So no, gas prices will not go up. That is just plumb stupid to even think that. So because of that, if we actually end up allying with Iran, that means China lost a huge portion of where they get their oil from. And guess who just got 80 million barrels of oil delivered to the United States? Well, who delivered it, I should say. Venezuela. Because now they are also our partner. And they've sent so much oil to us, 80 million barrels. We could sell that directly to China. And now guess who's taken back production from China? That's us. The cards are there. The play is there. This could happen. It's all possible. If the dominoes fall right, or if cards fall, whatever you want to say, whatever your expression is, that could happen that way. And if it does, how stupid are the people going to look that panicked? And even if it doesn't, and it is worst case scenario, did your panic prevent anything? Did your panic do anything for anybody? Because guess what? Iran got bombed. We can't take that back. You can't unring that bell. So panicking and freaking out right now doesn't help anyway, even if worst case scenario is coming. So maybe we should calm down, like Charlie Kirk would have done, and said, yes, let's just see where this goes and criticize it after it happens. There is no point in criticizing somebody for doing something that you don't know the result of. What is that going to do for anybody? It's not smart.
And Trump in this whole ordeal, when actually that's not what he would want.
It really is just amazing to watch it. It's just shameless, like I said. It's just shameless. They don't even.
How often did Charlie Kirk come out and absolutely, like after anything, come out and say, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing to happen. President Donald Trump, he just betrayed us all. Can you show me any clips that Charlie has ever said that? I would love to see him.
Don't care. They're going to get there. They've got the ghost of Charlie. Aha, we can direct the ghost of Charlie. Why are you sharing these old clips of him as if he would have stood against the president, even though he literally stood against the president and told him not to go to war with Iran? Trust me, if he would have been here, he would have been supportive of what the president is doing, which was explicitly against what Charlie shared in his own words.
Just keep it in mind.
Shameless.
Shameless.
Like Erika, having been
shameless.
slated to record something alongside Bibi Netanyahu and Ben Shapiro. No one even believed me. I tweeted that about a month ago. That they were slated to record something ahead of the Super Bowl. I don't know if it was for the Super Bowl, but it was just ahead of the Super Bowl at Mar-a-Lago. And last second, whatever they were going to record got canceled in the umpteenth hour. She was teaming up with Ben Shapiro and Bibi Netanyahu. And then maybe somebody was like, hey, this isn't a good idea. Because she loved Charlie. She loved
I'm going to guess Candace is going to show proof of this.
him like Lyndon Baines Johnson loved JFK. No time to grieve. She needed to be sworn in as the new leader before his body was even cold. In case you didn't know this, LBJ was actually...
All right, I guess we're just on LGBTQJ here. Whatever. Why did you just say that they were definitely going to make a video and then not show any proof of that at all? Oh, it just happened to get canceled. I promise. Trust me, bro. They were going to do this. Thanks, Candace. I thought you would actually show proof. Wow. My heart. Again, I'm just so disappointed. Why do I keep doing this to myself?
Actually a crypto Jew, as they term it, a Jewish gangster.
Oh, he was a crypto Jew? Okay.
Jew, to be sure. More on that later. We'll talk more about that later. But first, let's recap what some of these characters that we've been introducing to you on Bride of Charlie. Let's recap them because it's good to remind ourselves of all of the people that are in this very elaborate story. First and foremost, we introduced you guys last week. Dr. Jerry Franzfey. She's like Dr. Jerry Franzfey-Steen is what I'm going to call her.
Yeah, I don't need to go over any of the Jerry Franzfey crap at all again. We determined she's not even related to Erika at all in any way, shape, or form. and she never had contact with Erika. You can't prove she had any contact with Erika at all. Uncle Jack Solomon. Who's this? Married to Erika's aunt. Carla Solomon, in 2002, graduated from UVU. Helped build the UVU campus as a board member for UVU Center for Jewish Studies. I don't remember her going over this guy, right? Did I miss this? Professor of political science. Jack was the founder of what was today known as Bally Technologies, casino slot machines. Oh, I kind of remember. Never mind. Zion Gate in Israel. Okay, whatever. I don't think that led to anything. Lori Francevay. Okay. So her mama. Yep, she has corporations coming out of her ears. Oh, wow, cool. Okay, so she's made businesses. Wow, that's just so crazy and so bad. God forbid that. First marriage was to James Stanley. Okay. Second marriage was to John Robert Waldstad. Okay. Where Lori goes, fraud follows. Lotteries, casinos, gambling are familial themes. Okay. Ish. Maybe. You haven't proved that she does anything illegal, but okay.
God, Francevay Guinta. She's her first
Not
name.
going over
The
this
only
again.
photo I could find of James Melvin Stanley, her
This
first.
dude looks like a Melvin. Holy crap. That is the most Melvin face I've ever seen in my life. I don't know who this is, but wow. Well, your parents knew.
First husband. She got married to him, I believe, when she was 19 years old. But I looked at this and I went, mad. This looks like Brigitte. I don't know, just like a little funny little side thing. That's her
It
first.
actually kind of looks like Kevin Bacon to me, but okay. Anyway, Lori Stanley. Well, okay, we're back on this. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. I actually don't so much. I don't want to go over this again.
We let you guys know that Erika's mother, Lori, has always used an Erpenbeck brother on her paperwork. He's signing things for her, helping her to form these many corporations. Rick Erpenbeck is his name, whose brother Bill did over 2 decades in prison for financial fraud, trying to kill his sister, threatening to kill his sister, burying cash on a golf course. Just
Last time they had any contact with the Erpenbecks on anything was in 1999. These arrest photos and stuff like that didn't happen until 2004. She was not working with them for 5 years straight before they ended up getting arrested. What do you want me to say about that, Candace? How could I possibly correlate this with Erika's mom? At all. Genuinely.
run-of-the-mill stuff, And Rick's father, Tony, tried to arrange for the kidnapping and murder of some kids because he was upset that he was getting time in prison. And like I said,
It looks like he would
stuff
do
for a
awful things
family.
to kids.
Well, one of you guys emailed us and alerted us to something pretty interesting.
Really?
But we were kind of imagining whether or not they still had a relationship today. We can now confirm that it's not just Lori who was close to Rick, but Erika is close to Rick as well. Now, I want to be clear. Rick
Is close to Rick? Really? I'd like to see some proof here. Hopefully she can provide some this time. Maybe we'll see.
Erpenbeck did not do any time in prison. He said, I was a young college student. I don't know why my dad transferred me all of this money.
7-5. Don't make me make a...
I'm very close with my brother Bill. He
That's
was
statistics,
honest
joke.
about the fact that he's close with his brother Bill throughout his testimony. This is his family, but he didn't do nothing and he don't know where this money came from. It's a story. He's sticking to it. He did not serve any time. It's important to stress that. But like I said, I don't know that I would be super close with a family like that. Full stop. Well, you should know that Erika considers Rick to be her uncle. Like, again, she could just be saying uncle, like when you get close to someone, they've been around you your whole life. That's my Uncle Rick. But that's the reality. If her Instagram is to believed, if her Instagram account is to be believed, then you should know that she's very close to this person because on December 1st, 2018, she went down to Universal Studios. You should know that that's where Rick works. And Erika documented that trip. She was with her mom. She's always with Lori. Lori's always in the background. And here is going to be very quick here because it's Instagram stories that she has saved. But you're going to see Uncle Rick. Take a look here.
Okay, let's see.
Butterbeer? When you pray and dream to be in show business, be specific.
By the way, I should mention he's high up at Universal. It makes me wonder
Cool. Maybe he got them in. Maybe they just recognized him there. Maybe they went there, ended up recognizing him. They're like, oh, hey, look at this guy. I don't know. Does this mean they're working together? Going to a thing outside of work at a what do you call it? Amusement park? Maybe? I mean, the most you could do is chalk it up to weird, but that's not proof at all. They saw him in public. Okay? And he works there. I'd say that's probably an easy, free way to get in, too. Who knows?
Wonder if that could have been a potential pathway for her to win Miss Arizona in 2012 because...
So you think that because they met up with him in 2018 at an amusement park that he works at, that somehow he would have something to do with her winning 2012. Okay.
NBC Universal, Universal Studios, they split ownership back in 2012. Trump owned half and NBC Universal owned the other half of the pageant. Anyway, I have no proof of that. I'm just saying that that's an interesting tie that Rick is working over at Universal Studios. Now, like I said, for some people, proximity to criminals, non-starter. That's how I would say I live my life.
I don't think Trump owned half of Miss USA, though. Or wait, was it Miss USA or Miss Arizona? No, I don't think Trump owned Miss Arizona at all. Did Trump own part of Miss Arizona? Okay, well, this isn't going to tell me. I have to go to Grok. Great. Just brings up the Miss USA stuff. Did Trump own part of Miss Arizona? Why would she suggest that? That's why she won. I don't need expert. I just need fast mode. Just to make sure. Really curious. No, Donald Trump did not own any part of Miss Arizona as a specific entity or stake in the state-level pageant itself. Let me go back over what she said. Did I mishear what she said at all? Let me just I'll just rewind it like a couple seconds here.
NBC Universal, Universal Studios, they split ownership back in...
Okay, hold on. We'll just route it from here again.
By the way, I should mention he's high up at Universal. It makes me wonder if that could have been a potential pathway for her to win Miss Arizona in 2012 because NBC Universal, Universal Studios, they split ownership back in 2012. Trump owned half and Universal...
She did. She just flat out said Trump owned half of Miss Arizona. I had to go back and listen to that twice because there's no way she's that stupid, right? She literally said Trump owned half of Miss Arizona. No, he did not. He never owned half of that. That's crazy. Literally, look right here. Did Trump own part of Miss Arizona? No, Trump did not own any part of Miss Arizona, a specific entity or stake in the state-level pageant itself. Miss Arizona, or more precisely, Miss Arizona USA, is relevant context, is a state preliminary competition that sends the winner national to Miss USA pageant. Trump owned the Miss Universe organization, which included Miss USA and Miss Universe and Miss Teen USA from 1996, but then sold it in 2015. He was the owner or co-owner of the national and international level of pageants, not the individual state pageants like Miss Arizona USA, which is the furthest up that Erika ever went. She never had access to Trump's Miss America or anything like that. So she never participated in that. Candace just flat out lied. Again. Chalk this up for another Candace lie, guys. Here we go.
NBC Universal owned the other half of the pageant. Anyway, I have no proof of that. I'm just saying that that's an interesting tie that Rick is working over at Universal Studios. Now, like I said, for some people, proximity to criminals, non-starter. That's how I would say I live my life. Being close with your brother who tried to kill your sister probably wouldn't be my thing. But with Lori and Erika, it's fine. By the way, I do want to also add that that's one of my favorite things about gangsters. I'm looking at this family, who are the Erpenbecks? Because most people, if they have a traffic ticket, they got to show it. They got a record. Oh gosh, this is going to hurt my chances of getting a job. Erpenbeck, kind of a big deal.
Oh, and you are right. I know even base level workers over it, because I got in. Well, I was going to get into Disneyland for free. We ended up going to the one across the street, Knott's Berry Farm. So, my buddy Kai, he does things on YouTube. I'm not going to say what because I don't know that he wants me to say. But he does other stuff as well, other than our gaming channel that we do together. And he has a couple friends in California. And when we went to California back in 2013, he had a friend that worked in Disneyland. And they were supposed to get us in for free, but I think they called in for the day. So, yeah, it's just, they can get anybody in for free. As long as you know the worker that's there, they can get you right on in. It's pretty easy. And there wasn't a limit either. We could have brought, like, as many friends as we wanted. So, kind of cool. So, yeah, you're correct on that.
$34 million went missing.
Knott's Berry Farm is better, by the way. I really enjoyed myself there, actually.
And he's at the top of Universal Studios. Just incredible. I don't know. I feel like if my brother was like the Zodiac Killer or something, I probably wouldn't be able to go down and work for Disney or Universal Studios. Anyway, moving on. We told you last week that someone sent us the remaining documents pertaining to Lori and Kent's mysterious divorce. We can't even get a decade for when this marriage happened. Just have no idea if it happened in the early 80s or if it happened in 1993.
Wait, Evelyn Davis, Candace Owens, Candy's mom, the one she said divorced from her dad when she was 11, but the divorce papers say Candace was actually 25. Really now? That's fascinating, actually. May have to look into that.
Prevailing narrative from the debunkers is
Thank you, Miss Riz.
that the initial filing, which I would like to remind you, only had 4 statements of fact, a one-pager. It was simply a clerical error when they listed Erika's birthday as November 22nd rather than the 20th of November, which is the birthday that she has today. Now, to be clear, there was no cleric involved. It's a document filed by Lori, sitting down with her.
Well, that sounds like it would be an error then, right, Candace? There's no clerical? The clerical error? Sounds plausible to me, but okay.
Lawyer, reviewing it with her lawyer. And by the way, when you go into a courtroom, you have to swear the statements are true. You have to swear the statements are true.
Okay.
The birthday was what we showed you, also featured on 2 separation agreements.
Again, my wife's grandmother had the wrong birthday on her birth certificate, okay? And her birthday was actually 2 days later. The doctor was drunk and wrote in the wrong birthday. They never had it ever corrected. Now, her grandma was a little different. Her grandma lived out in the country her entire life on a Native American reservation. Her grandmother, her grandmother's mom was forced into Native American schools. So her grandma didn't trust the government or anything like that. She never had a driver's license, never got any ID, never did. Or no, she had an ID. She had an ID. But she never got a driver's license, never did any of that stuff. Always just stayed at her house pretty much. Never bothered correcting any of the stuff. So nobody actually knew that her birthday was a different day, like outside of her family. They just celebrated her actual birthday on her birthday. And then anytime she needed a loan or anything, she just went with whatever ID said. You know what I mean? So really that simple. You know, just there was not the complication that that Candace is presenting here. That being said, it's not crazy much different. And errors like that happen, and they may have just let it be. Who knows? Who cares?
Authored in 1995, it authored in 1996. So separate documents.
Oh, because she was born at 12:59 p.m. I gotcha. Yeah, that's funny though. Or did you mean 11:59 p.m.? But yeah, I get what you mean.
But we couldn't access the rest of them, and then I told you someone sent them to us, and we can now show you the remaining filings. We have, at first, I'm going to show you this joint shared parenting plan, which is, you can see, filled in by hand.
Okay, joint shared parenting plan here. This is interesting, I guess, ish. Hey, user, thank you so much for that, man. Seriously. Her husband has multiple birthdays in legal docs. See, it's just projection. It's just projection from Candace constantly. That's just like Candace was talking about how, what's her name? Lori's mom. Or not Lori's mom. Lori's, it wouldn't be. It was, Candace's dad's first wife, Jerry Francevay, okay? Said, oh, she's creepy because she ran away at 14 and lived with this guy for 6 months. And then it turned out Candace, at the age of 14, did the exact same thing. By Candace's own admission on the Russell Brand podcast, she said that she left her home to live with her boyfriend for 6 months when she was 14. Exact same thing. It's funny how often Every time Candace makes a claim, she has actually done the thing that she has a problem with. Isn't it weird?
On January 8th, I'm going to go with 1998. That was my best guess. It's hard to tell since someone tried to edit it by hand again. This is real life, so you just do what you want there. But the point is that Erika's birthday is again listed as...
Well, they are signatured. Are they not, Candace? Isn't that what you had a problem with? They said you have to initial and then have it signed off. And it looks like it was initialed and signed off. Okay.
As November 22nd, 1988. Okay. Then came an amendment to the child support plan, which was drafted on September 10th of 1998. And it is, in my opinion, the most egregious of all the filings. I just want to show you this. There's no notary.
Is there a purpose to her birthday being screwed up, Candace? Is there any way she could have used this to end Charlie Kirk's life? Anything that this could have done. I understand it's weird. But what does it do? I don't understand this.
There's no judge signing off on another page of it. It's really kind of just Lori. I think even her attorney was like, this is a bridge too far even for me. And Lori was just like going off of vibes there. And I just wanted to, I would be remiss if I didn't show you the signature page because I find the signatures to be very similar between her and Kent. And remember, we're supposed to believe Kent waived off his rights without a notary to these documents. So Lori's kind of running the show. Okay. Then I'm going to show you this November 10th, 1998 final decree. This time, Erika's name is typed in. And once again, her birthday is listed as November 22nd, 1988.
Okay.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the medical child support document, which was entered in the following year, January of 1999. This particular document requires the consent of the health insurance company. In this case, it's listed as Aetna. What is entered in as her birthday is November 22nd, 1988. And I want to be clear, this is all for child support. So actually, the only date that really matters here is Erika's birthday. You want to make sure you have the right kid. We're moving on. We're in, it's 1999. They're still, everyone's confused and thinks Erika's birthday. They're actually not confused. They're consistently telling us that it's November 22nd, but we're not done. Let's fast forward to 2004. Because maybe from 1995 to 1999, multiple people, including the parents of the child, were just making clerical errors. Maybe what's needed to straighten people out is a new decade. Y2K vibes. Let's get into the 2000s. Well, in July of 2004, Kent defaulted on his child support payments, and the enforcement agency recorded the default, plus Erika's birthday. And as you can see,
I'm just letting it go because I'm waiting for a point. I don't understand why she's bringing any of this up. And I'm just waiting for, because she's like, look at this. Look at it. Isn't this weird? Isn't this weird? Wow. Look at this piece of fungus that grew on my rectum yesterday. Isn't that weird? And it's like, okay, but what does any of this have to do with anything? I'm so lost as to what any of this is. And this is literally how her audience is going to be. Like, I don't even understand how she's capturing her audience with this right now. None of this makes sense to me. Does any of this make sense to you guys?
Once again, we have it listed here as November 22nd, 1988. Apparently, there isn't a clerk across 10 years that can type in 20 as opposed to 22. Let's go 2007. Let's just
Egyptian
because
birthdays,
I
you
like
think?
2007
Or
right?
Israel
Good memes.
birthday.
I graduated high school. They released the final installment of the Harry Potter book series, which I was reading. I mean,
Maybe
I
you're
just feel
onto
like nobody
something.
got anything wrong in 2007. Fantastic year, right? Except for whoever filed for Erika's child support emancipation. Now she's 18. You don't got to pay child support anymore. You got to go back and file things. And once again, her birthday is listed as November 22nd, 1988. The point I'm making
wow,
here
this is great. Oh, finally.
everything about this marriage, everything about this divorce, everything about Erika's early years is shady. And the beginning matters. The beginning matters deeply.
Oh my God. What do you think they did? Kidnap a kid and force her to like be a government secret sleeper agent? Do you think she also knows Kung Fu and crap too? I bet she's crazy. Like, I bet she is Mossad, Green Beret, God, who knows? A Hellfighter. You know? Are those still around? The Hellhawks, whatever they are. I don't understand. Like, the beginning matters. Let's hear why.
Opened this series reading Elizabeth Lane, the investigative journalist, her thesis that she presented that Erika Kirk might be a psychopath, not a sociopath, but a psychopath. She argued that is what disturbs us when we see her speak. Something's not right. The brain is registering that words are coming out of her mouth, but the expressions are not right.
Oh my God. Is she going to say she was a freaking fembot? Is that what's going to go on? Was Erika Kirk a fembot? You think she's got guns? Are we watching Austin Powers? If we are, she's definitely gold member though. Like for real, she's gold member. She ain't even Dr. Evil level. She's definitely, she's got a skin box somewhere.
Actions are not right, and our body kind of has a natural defense system that comes online. Before we can even register what it is that makes us uncomfortable, we pull back. People say, I can't watch her. I can't listen to her. I hope she does well, but I don't even want to watch this. Even those people that do support her, Elizabeth Lane noted, they can't watch her. I want to build upon that. Psychopaths are not born. They are created. Okay? They are created, and typically...
No, I have to disagree. Jeffrey Dahmer, that absolutely... I think he had decent parents-ish to a degree. I don't think that it was the raising of Jeffrey Dahmer that made him that way. He was literally cooked in the womb. His mother was a pillhead and cooked that boy. Like, that boy didn't have a chance. He didn't have a chance. Yes, to a degree, I guess that would be created, right? Because she's taken all that stuff and all that. But it's not like they raised him to be this way. You know what I mean? Like, he was out the gate really messed up. Like, that, he was cooked. What was it that his mom was consuming? Like, she ate those things like candy. I'm going to have to go back and look, but yeah.
They are created in their youth. If the work of Sigmund Freud...
Youth. Okay, no. So she's wrong. Yeah, you could create him right in the fetus just by, being really stupid.
Who rather obsessed himself with creating psychopaths is to be believed. I would respectfully submit to you all that Erika's childhood is actually the most important piece of the puzzle. Because no matter what anyone is trying to tell you, Erika is not posting her mother.
Why would they need Erika Kirk to become a psychopath if she wasn't even the one who pulled the trigger or anything like that? Like, what possible motive would that be?
In the way that she is, without intent right now.
Keep in mind, they did all of this, by the way, just to prevent him from talking Trump down from bombing Iran. That's what she said at the beginning of this. So they put her with him to make sure that if he got close to the president, somehow, which you never would have been able to guess that in a million years, that he would have gotten close with Trump. But somehow they did this preemptively, like a decade before Trump ever was even thought about, running for president, because apparently they did all this in Charlie's childhood. They set him up all this way on this path just to prevent him from talking to Trump and convincing him not to bomb Iran.
Okay, she didn't post her mother for years, and then she suddenly moves to post her mother in a vulnerable, sick position a mere days before Charlie's assassinated. Two to 3 days before he's assassinated. That registers to me as emotionally manipulative. I don't know many people, or really any people, who would move to curate an Instagram reel of their mother in that condition. Most of all, I don't know many people who would want or allow them to, right? So that tells us also something.
Well, apparently you don't know women who are white that drink Starbucks, that literally have to post stuff like that. I see it all of the time. What are you talking about? Have you ever scrolled Instagram? You're either getting somebody who's showing themselves with their stuff hanging out, or it's something really, really sad, or it's a freaking picture of somebody's food. What are you talking about? Something with their family, something like, help us with their, like, my mother's so strong going through cancer, or something like that. You see it all the time. What are you talking about?
Something's not right with Lori. Something's not right with Lori. Why would you want someone curating these moments of you and putting it online as if to say, hey, don't even look here, leaking to people that she's like, without any clarity, it's not coming from Erika, but she wants you to imagine. One person said, I heard her mother has cancer. They're putting this out here without any clarity. Who is Lori? Lori's a very interesting character. I think, like I've said to you, her mother's got a lot of problems.
Kind of, I guess,
maybe. What somebody dug up, something that Charlie shared about Erika's mother, is shocking. Absolutely shocking. More about her ancestry. I'd like to apologize in advance to sports
And I'm sure when Charlie leaked this out there, he actually intended for it to look bad, right?
fans. We'll tell you when we get back from a little break.
We'll tell you after I get this paycheck. Okay, we're skipping that because that's BS. Anyway, guys, while I'm in the middle of skipping all of her ads, please give me a like and a subscribe. That's all I ask for. I don't advertise. I don't ask for money. I don't do any of that. If you do donate, I'm not going to turn it away, obviously. Thank you all so much for being here. I work a full-time job in a factory. Until this channel gets bigger, I'm not going to ask for anything or do anything like that. So, seriously, thank you guys. I genuinely appreciate it. Even the people that don't like me. At least thank you for giving this a try.
Health/Candace with promo code Candace. Important
I don't
place to start is
/Candace.
free. Organic blended to be. Them up niche eating regular
it's
dating,
still-
so you won't
Wow.
find yourself uncomfortable, but you can /Candace description. That and you a little bit of history. I'm going to go through
There
it
we go.
quickly.
Good Lord.
You have probably heard maybe vaguely the conspiracy, quote unquote conspiracy, from people who print the textbooks, that we're being ruled by the Khazarian mafia, right? This empire that exists.
I mean, it's actually a high possibility that, now, I don't know about Khazarian. I've never heard of the specific mafia. But, I mean, it's a very likely thing that, yeah, our government's heavily infiltrated by mafia. That only makes sense. So, I mean, there is that. Show Candace's mom in the Discord, please. We need to see it so everyone can laugh. Oh, yeah, I mean, it looks like her. It definitely looks just like Candace Owens. It is funny. I can pull this up. Take a look here. Yeah, you know. Evelyn Davis, Candace Owens' mom, the one who said she was divorced from her dad. Can I zoom in? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's Candace Owens. That just looks like Candace Owens is an old lady. Yeah. Crazy. You know, Veronica A. Owens. So, this is Evelyn Davis Owens. Veronica A. Owens. Is this the same? Is this her, like, sister? This looks like a different person down here. Who is that? This actually looks like a really well put together person down here. Looks a little different from her. So, huh. Oh, Evelyn Owens posted. Okay, so Evelyn Owens posted shenanigans. Who's Veronica Owens, though? Oh, I don't know. Veronica Owens is probably your aunt or something, maybe. Is Veronica the one that Candace always talks about? Huh. Maybe that's the one that she ends up having with her at her parties and whatnot. Oh, Billy Mix, thank you so much. $20, man. Thank you, guys. Y'all never have to do that, but I am genuinely grateful. Seriously, you guys are awesome. Y'all are really too nice to me. Let's, oh yeah, she's with the pizza too. Yeah. That's a good example. I didn't even notice. Pizzagate. I guess they are in the files, right? That's so funny. You guys are insane. Let's watch this.
Existed 8th and 9th and 10th century about, and then magically disappeared. Magically, nobody knew. It was a Turkic tribe. They were a nomadic tribe, and then they mass converted to Judaism. Okay? But they were not.
I don't know if I see mafia people walking away from Catholic. I don't know. Maybe they would have. Maybe, right? Maybe they would have went from all of a sudden believing in Jesus to not, I guess. I don't know. I mean, mafia guys, they were always Catholic, right? I don't know. I just don't. It kind of seems backwards to go. Like, I can understand why some people would convert to Judaism and stuff, but isn't it kind of a little backwards? I don't know. Maybe that's just my line of thinking. I don't know. It's like, that would be silly. I don't know. I guess I'm being silly right now, but I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting thing. Khazarian Mafia is Candace's term for Jews. Oh, really? Yeah, it seems so. She is going that way. Thank you so much, man. Seriously, you guys are awesome. Genuinely, thank you. What's even more evil is she's dragged her mom into this, and she's not doing well. Her health is declining. Yeah. It is. Veronica is an aunt. Now we're back to the 10th century. Yeah. I'm just stealing this highlight to make this comment look cool and mog the comment above and below this one. Oh, I see how it is, Race. All right, Lever. I should just call you Lever. Saying Race is like, people take the wrong idea.
Not ethnically Jewish. They mass converted to Judaism, and they mixed in. Okay, they mixed in with people who were actually Jews.
Okay, but let's get proof for that first, right?
They call this a conspiracy. That the people that live in Israel right now are the Khazarian mafia. They call that a conspiracy, but if you read books that were printed in Israel by the Israelis, they themselves declared that they were Khazarian. You could look, a guy named Abraham Pollock is an example who
Okay,
wrote a book,
I'll
did
look him
all the
up.
research. He was awarded for his research and said, hey, we're that tribe. We are the Turks that mass converted to Judaism. And then he was told that was inconvenient after they awarded him. After 1948, they were like, oh, no. We're claiming we're the original Jews in the Bible. So like, let's just get rid of all this research. Something else that you should know about this conspiracy, actually, rather, something that's definitely not a conspiracy. You just need to research things outside of Hollywood movies. You know that Italian mafia?
Nope, that's
It was
not
actually
at all. Okay.
Jewish, maybe Khazarian Jewish. Hollywood was, as we know, factually started by Jewish gangs. Universal, MGM, there's no hiding that, okay? There's no denying it. Initially, they were carnies, people that were running the carnivals. They would wow
just
people
clowns?
with illusions,
Okay.
right?
All
The
right.
occultists. And then they
Ms. Lolo, thank you so much. Thank you for not being brainwashed dumb. A brainwashed dumb. Truth is so important. God bless you. And the ones dodging gossip and lies. Thank you and God bless you. Thank you all so much. God bless everybody here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Y'all are freaking awesome. I'm looking this up. No, Abraham Pollock, more accurately spelled Abraham M. Pollock. Oh, P-O-L-A-K, not or P-O-L-L-A-K. Oh, okay, because I added a C, I'm a bad guy. That was the only way to not spell it, and I spelled it wrong that way. That's great. In some sources, was not Khazarian. He was an Israeli historian born around 1910 and died 1970, a professor of medieval Jewish history at Tel Aviv University and the founder of its Middle East history department. He was a modern Jewish academic of the 20th century, not a member of the ancient Khazar people. The confusion likely stems from his well-known 1951 book, Khazaria, The History of a Jewish Kingdom in Europe, in Hebrew, where he argued that a significant portion of Eastern European Ashkenazi Jewry descended from Khazars, a semi-nomadic Turkic people. So she just flat out lied or misunderstood. Maybe, I hate to give Candace Owens the benefit of the doubt, but she actually seems like she may have misunderstood what his book was about. So I'm going to go ahead and put it as Candace is ignorant. And that's all. I'm going to go ahead and do this and be like, come on, let's post. Candace Owens was wrong again. There we go. That way I can just kind of keep track of it. I can at least try to reference it. Actually, maybe can I find it? Here we go. I'm going to bookmark it. There we go. That way I can at least keep track of that at all times and it won't go anywhere. Okay, back to this. What a face. Oh my God.
They said, let's do this on a larger scale. Let's do movies. Let's get people to pour into cathedrals. Put on a show. That's why you go to Carnival. Oh, it's so much magic and illusion. Well, why?
I've never, ever, ever thought a carny gave magic or illusion. I've always thought they sucked. Just saying. Now, maybe for a circus, maybe. But for an amusement park, they're just, every time they're just like, you can make this shot. Come on. You'd go to do it, and it's like, and then they're like, you suck, kid. And then it's just like, great. Thanks.
You understand that movies are another
Very magical
illusory trick. It captures your imagination, it captures your emotions, and it's almost never based in reality. For example, the prevailing narrative is that the Italian mafia, just for no reason, we don't know why, they partnered with Meyer Lansky and Bugsy Siegel, the Italian, and then the Jewish mafia got together. No. Yes, the Italian mafia, they spoke Italian, but that's because they emigrated to Italy after revolutions.
Yeah, I mean, so she's kind of right. So she gets part of it right and then gets the other part wrong. That's part of what his book was saying, was that a lot of these tribes ended up converting to Judaism. However, a lot of them ended up going to Italy. So she's like halfway there, but they split. It's not like the Khazarians ended up going to Jewish and then going becoming Jewish and then going to Italy. That's not what he was saying. He was saying that some of them went to Israel and then some of them went elsewhere. Now, that elsewhere, I would imagine, would probably have been Italy. So that's the point of his book, and she missed that. Luckily, we have AI fact-checking here. Now, maybe I ought to get a copy of his book or something and verify it for myself, but I have a feeling she did not read that book.
reality, and you need to listen to this backwards and forward and do your own research. The reality is that in 1881, the Russian Tsar was assassinated by a Jewish revolutionary gang from what was known as the Pale of Settlement. Okay, so you had a Christian empire.
I'm trying to think of a funny name, like greasers, but like Jewish people, like a gang of Jews. They definitely in the 80s would definitely think being like a 40s like slick backed person with a butterfly knife or something would be a cool gangster. You know what I mean? It just kind of sounds funny like that to me. Like they'd be like, "Hey there," because you got to imagine Ben Shapiro's voice being a gangster. You can't make him a thug like like modern day type thug or anything wearing a chain. Nah, he definitely would be a greaser for sure. It'd just be funny. What would we call them? You guys come up with it. I could think of something.
And then what was carved out was like if
the
you were
Goyim
Jewish,
guys
you
or
had to
something. I
live in
don't
the
know.
Pale of Settlement because they required that you were Christian if you were going to live within the kingdom. The world was dominated by Christian kingdoms. And so you know that expression when you say that was beyond the pale? Probably don't even know why you say that. Oh, what he did was beyond the pale.
Yeah, it's like three Jewish guys, but they have like a bunch of like goys around them. They're like, get them guys instead of boys. It just sounds so stupid.
You're
cheesy.
actually referring to the Pale of Settlement, which is where the Jews had to live. Now, they were
Okay.
allowed to work inside of the kingdom, but you had to be a Christian to live within the kingdom.
Kippas. Yeah,
The Pale of Settlement consisted of modern-day Poland, Ukraine, and Lithuania. This is very important for you to understand this. After the assassination, many of the associated people that were involved, little gang that put together, they emigrated to Italy. They emigrated to the United States. You learn this in your textbook as there were pogroms. No context. They, for no reason, kicked out of a country. There's actually no evidence they were ever kicked out, but they left. The revolutionaries left. And there were actually, all throughout this time frame, by the way, these sorts of revolutions happening all across Europe, trying to overthrow and divide Christian kingdoms. Deeply organized revolutions.
Any
Initially,
proof of this?
they failed. German revolution failed. Italy, Austria, failed revolutions of 1848. They were commies.
Right. Of course. But were these the whatever she called them, Kazakhs or whatever the crap they are? Or were these Jews?
The revolutionaries, you could also refer to the revolutionaries as murderous psychopaths. And then they emigrated in mass into the United States as victims. And they brought with them their revolutionary ideas. I like to say they were anarchists, obviously, but also you should think of them as gypsies in the truest sense of the word. They will learn any language, become what they have to come, move wherever they need to move, and wherever they go, they bring their filth with them. Okay, we get these migrants into the company, and then suddenly the people that assassinated the Tsar, then we get the first bombing in America at the Haymarket Square in Chicago. That involved, quote unquote, German immigrants. The assassination of President McKinley, done by a Polish man named Leon Czolgosz.
Polish. Yeah, okay. That sounds incredibly Jewish, too.
Who was radicalized by a Jewish
Khazarians,
Russian immigrant named Emma Goldman. Her family was from the Pale of Settlement. They were not like poor living in the Pale of Settlement. They were wealthy Jews, educated Jews. There are tons of books about what they did. I could do 12 episodes on Emma Goldman, by the way. Her alone, the amount of assassinations connected to her. She was also the woman that was behind Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood.
Okay.
Emma's boyfriend, also from the Pale of Settlement, tried to assassinate Henry Frick of the U.S. Steel. He literally shot him. You've probably heard the story. They shot him, but Henry Frick survived. They're just murderous communists. I don't know what to tell you. And they did that, tried to kill Frick because they wanted to establish unions. So you learn in school, it was about workers' rights. Yeah.
But here's the problem with all of this. See, your foundation is already shaky because you got the book wrong. The very beginning of all the immigration and stuff, you got it dead wrong. So now that all of your theory is based on this, that pulls out from under, and now things are completely different. These could have just been straight up the Kazakhs that have actually, Khazarians. I want to say Kazakhs. What am I playing, League of Legends? The Khazarians. Literally. Like, there is, how would he really put this? There's no, like, foundation that they all became Jews first and then spread. That's the problem. That's where your fundamental argument just dies right there. So we have no idea. These people that are coming in that you think are supposedly Jewish may actually not be.
Organized these worker strikes and these protests, and eventually they were successful in establishing unions because...
in all fairness, she didn't necessarily make this up. She could have just simply misunderstood all this, because I understand the confusion reading his book. You know, probably why she would go that way. I don't think she actually read the book, though, to be honest. I think she just genuinely, like... Well, I don't know genuinely. I'm not going to say genuine. I think she messed up. I think she probably has... Oh, good Lord. How do I always pause with her face doing something stupid? That is wild. But yeah, I think she may have just been confused by this part. I'll give her some benefit of the doubt. She doesn't deserve it, but I'll give her some.
That allowed them to establish racketeering mafias. You guys know unions are associated with mafia and the mobs. This is our inheritance. Our entire history and our present is a gangster's paradise in America. Hollywood exists to glamorize the filthiest people, that work in the most debased industries. It's not entertainment. It's always been disgusting. It's always...
By the way, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and like button. Thank you guys so much. Come on. This is just too good.
It's been about filth, prostitution, importing people from Vienna, and trying to collapse America. Successful all across Europe, what they did. The Christian empires got divided.
Their stinky
and
sausages.
here we are today, right? This is what we're facing in America. You have to understand this. So you get to this
Can't kill a
mafia,
frick.
you get to the mobs, you get to, obviously, usury. You will always know them by what the filth that they bring, okay? Think about the Great
just sounds so
Depression. What was that about? Oh, now we need, we got to establish this, the Fed. We got to establish the Fed because of the Great Depression. And the history of sports is an interesting subject. We start bringing that up because sports was a distraction. It is a form of entertainment. I'm not trying to ruin these things for you. There's so many incredible movies about the history of sports. I love Remember the Titans. It's legitimately one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Love it. But I would say that I don't have a truer sense of what or who began the sports industry. I'm just a girl. Never wound up here. But I'm telling you this because I think Lori Franzway is rotten to her core, and I therefore found it unbelievable.
Why, though? Why do you think Lori Franzway is so rotten, psycho? Like, for real? What's going on with that?
Interesting that someone located an old interview, an Ask Me Anything segment from Charlie Kirk's show. Person emailed me and they said, Candace, quote, I listened to Charlie's podcast, the rebroadcast last night by the TPUSA crew regarding his thoughts on the past Super Bowls. Charlie was speaking about the Green Bay Packers and mentioned that Erika's mom is a direct line to the Lombardi family.
Wow.
I thought this might be an interesting piece to your puzzle, they concluded.
Okay.
Excuse me? A direct descendant to Vince Lombardi?
Oh,
now, for those of you that don't follow sports because you're just a girl too, or more specifically, those of you who do not follow American sports because Americans think football's so big, but obviously it's just confined to...
So the Green Bay Packers confirmed have ran train on somebody. All right. Here we go. We're going to get the Green Bay Packers involved. They were all involved in this. This is why they had a grudge against UVU, because UVU once beat them in the 60s, and then they retired their football team, and they were like, we can't let them get away with this.
To America, Vince Lombardi might be the most famous American football coach of all time. Okay, of all time, he is actually so famous that the Super Bowl trophy is named after him. So once the football players, whoever wins Super Bowl, they receive what's called the Lombardi Trophy. That's named after Vince.
Yeah, before that, it was called the Lombardi, whatever his last name is, the Lombardi Suppository. Well, that just took the wind out of those sails. Holy crap.
Vince Lombardi, okay? The Green Bay Packers, and people in the comments are going to kill me, but I'm pretty sure that was the first Super Bowl ever. I'm going to have to look that up. Skylar, you can look that up for me. I'm not positive. Erika Kirk? A direct descendant?
Wait, I did show the picture of Candy's mom. Remember? I pulled it right on over here. I was like, did this, I grabbed it and was like, hey. And then I zoomed in and we found out she had pizza and we made fun of it. And then I thought Veronica was the one who posted it, but Evelyn's down here. Remember? Whoa. Yeah, it looks like Candace's mom for sure. And yeah, I believe that that divorce was probably not the time that Candace said it was. That's hilarious.
No, I'd have to hear Charlie say that myself. That can't be right. Well, sure enough, we went to investigate, and Charlie did communicate that very
that pausing
fact.
moment is
Take
great.
a listen.
The Packers won the first Super Bowl. You know, my wife, Erika, is from the Lombardi family.
Really?
Is that right? Seriously?
Yeah.
That's royal blood.
Her mom's a Lombardi.
That's
Crazy.
royal
Isn't that
blood.
insane?
That's royal. Like how close? Like is she
Like direct bloodline.
like lineal descent from Vince?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, we have all this Packers stuff at our house.
I didn't know that.
Whoa.
That's interesting.
Isn't that
That
great?
is
And I'm from a
wild.
huge Bears family, so I don't know. How to feel about that.
Whoa.
Oh, well, what about Charlie being part of the Bears, though, Candace? Do you think that may be nefarious as well?
I'm just going to let you guys digest that.
All right, I've already
Lori,
digested it.
Lori. Direct descendant from Vince Lombardi? I can tell you my first thought
Okay.
was, Charlie's not lying, because take it from me, he's not dumb enough to tell a lie that big on camera, okay? He's not going to do that. He knows they will fact check him real quick. So my only other option was, is
cares?
Erika lying? Obviously, I would rank that as a strong possibility were it not for the fact that Charlie said that they had a ton of Vince Lombardi's paraphernalia around the house.
Oh,
A
paraphernalia.
direct
Okay.
descendant,
Whatever you want to call it, all
lineal
right.
descendant from Vince Lombardi. You're hearing this from his own mouth. Erika's
Yeah, Vince Lombardi, contraband.
mother, he is saying, is a Lombardi. I said, Charlie, not known for hyperbole. He knows words have meaning. A direct descendant, therefore, would mean that
Hello, Craig. What do you mean,
Lori
what happened to Artie?
is
Well, I don't have an
Vince Lombardi's offspring.
eye. All right, I guess maybe if you wanted to
yeah,
tell it that
that's
way.
really our only option here, given the ages. Lori's born in 1950.
Okay.
And I have to say, once I heard him say it, Lori and her sister, Deborah, do look like Vince. I see it.
I guess, who
And
cares?
I thought it was interesting that I could never find a photo
Point.
of her parents.
Oh my
Curious,
God,
Actually, yeah,
point.
her name was Angela Lombardo. And curiously enough, we can confirm that her mother is a Lombardo. That's her maiden name. In other words, Erika's maternal grandmother is Angelina Lombardo Abbas. You can see that here in this obituary from 1970. The bottom there says that.
I don't
Angeline,
care.
wife of Joseph Abbas of Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay, so what's going on here? Because that still wouldn't make her a direct, unless people have multiple identifications. I can't get there, but I know that Charlie is being.
Do you think maybe just the literal newspaper could have just possibly misspelled her name? Maybe. Do you think that's a possibility, Candace?
pretty explicit and saying direct lineage, and
Lord.
I don't
What
have
is the
photos
point?
of Erika's mom. I mean, of Lori's mom and dad. I wanted to present that because there are many rabbit holes that ought to be explored in the story. I cannot chase them all down because I need to now focus and bring you guys into understanding what happened with Erika and Pageant World and how she was truly brought on at Turning Point USA. But I want to share this anyways because it feels very significant. That is not casual. And I'd like to apologize in advance to all the football fans. I know you're thinking, can we have anything? And the answer is no. We cannot have even one thing. Figure it out, guys. Figure it out, internet.
Figure
her
what
name
out?
really Angelina Lombardo? Is his name Joe Lombardo? I don't know. Is Lori actually Vince's kid? Did he have one out of wedlock? I don't know. But a direct descendant means a direct descendant. That's, to me, is the only possibility. Why else would you be getting the paraphernalia, which is worth a fortune? And it would also mean
Why are you calling it
Lombardo
paraphernalia too? That's just such a weird. It's a weird word to use. Usually, you use paraphernalia like it's not inappropriate per se, but it's a weird choice to call it that. It's very icky. You know what I mean? Like it's supposed to be wrong. I don't understand this. Are you all getting that same kind of vibe there? Like, why is she using that term? It's just weird.
and Lombardi are interchangeable, which Charlie has just confirmed, right? He says she's a Lombardi.
Okay.
Actually, according to obituary, she's a Lombardo. If that's the reality, if those are interchangeable, then we can begin to honestly speculate about Lori's potential ties to the Lombardo Genovese crime family. who had a lot to do with illegal gambling and racketeering. It's now all open. It's all on the table, and it is all of interest. Now, like I said, unfortunately,
again, sins of the grandfather, I guess. Whatever. You have awful. If you have bad parents, then you also do bad things. That's what she's saying. I'm gonna close these windows real quick.
there are no photos of Lori's father and mother that I could find, but it's a strong lead, and I'm going to leave it at that for YouTubers and other sleuths to take a look at. Pivoting back to Erika and Erika's timeline, because now all of the characters that we've introduced to you are in place. You understand kind of the story that we're telling here. I wanted to let you know that we did receive a
I have not been able to understand the kind of story you've been telling here. It's been very confusing, Candace. This is actually the worst episode she's ever done. Ever done. The retarded rabbit is back, guys.
flurry of emails about Erika's missing year. Also, a lot of comments. And before we get there, I can tell you, we can confirm now that Erika did attend St. Ursula Villa up in Cincinnati, Ohio, but she attended what we can document for kindergarten. So that was before she went down to Arizona. We have that photo for you guys here. This would be from 1994 to 1995.
Okay.
And you can see her, just for funsies, her name is spelled differently. It's with a C. Clerical. It's clerical error. Another clerical error. They're all over.
Oh, yeah. It's another clerical error. Does it do anything to constantly change their name? Like, Candace, does it actually do anything? I don't know what the point of this is. Oh, hey, user. She's confusing paraphernalia and memorabilia. Is she really confusing the two? Like, you can use paraphernalia technically. It's just not in that context. It's just a weird choice. But yeah, she probably does mean to say memorabilia.
We thus far, no one with a yearbook at St. Ursula Villa has been able to confirm her for 2000 and from 2000 to 2002. So those years are still technically missing. I thought that was where she was for those years, but maybe we had it in reverse. We're going to keep building upon that. We also did receive confirmation from basketball players at St. Regis that we were correct. She did not play in the 2008 to 2009 season. Despite in the future, she's going to claim multiple times that she played at Regis for 2 years. She played basketball for 2 years. Well, I can show you this photo that we also gathered of Erika with her Regis University team members. This is taken in December of 2007, but she did not play. Regis University, like I said, her stats are still up. We could not find her in a newspaper. And
possibly had an injury, possibly sat on the bench maybe that year. Who knows? Happens all the time, but okay.
And now we have team members that are confirming that she did not play for the 2008 season.
Okay.
So the mystery remains, where was Erika hiding afterward for 8 months?
She literally said exactly what she was doing for that 8 months, but I guess keep digging. See if she contradicts herself drastically with this one. Spoiler alert, I don't think she's ever going to find that because she never does. She never does find contradictions.
Many of you guys thought that she went to have a baby.
Oh, no. At this point, it's not borderline stalking. This is actually freaking stalking. Like, this is full-fledged stalking. Until she can actually put something out there to be, like, actual evidence. If she manages to tie all this together somehow one day, then maybe I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. But the problem with it is she's being very stupid with this and releasing piece by piece by piece. And it's just going nowhere. It's going nowhere because she doesn't even know where this ends. She could get to the very end of this investigation and find out the very much hard way, which I think is what's going to happen, that she was wrong the entire time, or it just dead ends to nothing. You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what's going to end up happening, and Candace will have to answer for that. And I don't think she's going to do well when that happens. Let's see here. I saw a really good post here. What was it? Why is this? What the heck is happening? My computer is struggling right now. I don't know why. That's weird. Candace is so upset. Oh, man, my computer is really, really struggling right now. Do I have something open that shouldn't be open? What's happening? Candace said Charlie is not dumb enough, so Candace thinks Charlie was dumb. Yeah, I agree there, Craig. For sure. What is taking up so much CPU right now? Hold on a second. Let me, pull this over here. What's going on? Google Chrome. Google. Okay. That's what's doing it. Dang it. Do I have something open that shouldn't be open? I have a Guitar Pro tab thing. I have this. Let me close out of a few tabs. Oh, it's starting to calm down. And, okay, it was YouTube. It was literally, for some reason, wow. I can't close out of that. So it's just, yeah, my YouTube studio literally has to stay open. Okay, good. Good. Well, my computer calmed down after that, so there's that. Let's see if she actually gets to people to saying to vote Democrat.
My day, when someone went away for 8 months, it's because they got knocked up and they had to go away. And
Oh, she's accusing Erika of having a secret child. This is crazy. I did not think she would go there. Oh my God. And you think it's for 8 months. Okay. Because God knows there's not another 6, another 6 to 8 week period of like actually resting after all that. Or, even longer depending if you tear your V right to your A. You know how that is. I'm sure a lot of women in here get exactly what that's about. How long do you get? It's like, what is that? Like, actually, no, it's more like 15 weeks off. 15, 16 weeks off after that. So it would be well over 9 months, Candace. But okay. All right.
I've seen no evidence of that. I'm just sharing that because it was a repeat comment. I'm just going to keep following the facts and following
such an appropriate thing to repeat.
Erika's words and sentiments that are shared. And regarding that year, someone sent us another clip of her verifying our timeline. So we are accurate. She goes missing in 2008 to, quote unquote, study the Bible to see she didn't learn the Bible, as we showed you last week. She didn't learn because she was Catholic and they didn't really study the Bible. Then she got this time with her pastor's wife to just really learn everything. And she says then that it was for 8 months. Well, take a listen to her explaining this again on a different podcast called Don't Ignore the Nudge. Take a listen.
Like with Miss Arizona, I was so done with that world. It was very toxic. I loved my director. I loved the experience I had, but afterwards, it was one of those things where I was so sold out and focused on Christ that I didn't want anything from that past or that world to follow with me into the new season that I was about to enter into. And so for me, it was all about I literally had locked myself in my room and read my Bible. And the only person I saw for 6 months was my pastor's wife. And I just had her pour into me. We would meet for lunch or coffee. And I didn't see any of my friends. I didn't do anything. I just was so focused on that.
Okay. You hear it again. This time she locked herself in her room.
That's not this time. She said that last time, too. She said that last time, Candace. It's so easy to find. I can find it in seconds where you said it. Watch this. Guys, time me down. I'm going to find everything she just said. It's going to be super freaking easy. It's going to be video, lives, and we're going to go right here.
We can just...
And yeah, I'm going to show you exactly how I found it. That is way louder. I don't know why that's so much louder. YouTube does that after videos upload. Oh, yeah. That may be why I always sound a little quieter during live streams. For some reason, the audio gets boosted after it's uploaded. Notice how quiet Candace is in this video. She's way louder in this one. I have to turn this down. But anyway, all I got to do is go down here to transcript, and I have to hit search, and I'm going to say lock. Listen to this.
It was unhealthy, and it was just ego fueling. So I locked myself in my room, basically.
I can always catch Candace in some BS, can't I? It's really easy. And I ain't that smart. I literally remembered this just from last time, just right off the top of my head. She made this video. All I did was watch it. She literally said she locked herself in a room. And then Candace has the stupid audacity to come out here and be like...
We would meet for lunch or coffee, and I didn't see any of my friends. I didn't do anything. I just was so focused on that.
Okay. You hear it again. This time she locked herself in her room. She's just focused.
This time, huh? She said it both times, but okay.
On the Bible. Self-taught. I mean, how much of the Bible could you read if that was the only thing that you were doing for She says 6 months there, 8 months on a different podcast, but it's Erika, so we're not going to hold her to anything consistent.
She said 8 months both time. What? Did she say 6? Let me go back. I could have swore I heard her say 8 months, but okay.
Called Don't Ignore the Nudge. Take a listen.
Let's go through faster.
Like with Miss Arizona, I was so done with that world. It was very toxic. I loved my director. I loved the experience I had, but afterwards, it was one of those things where I was so sold out and focused on Christ that I didn't want anything from that past or that world to follow with me into the new season that I was about to enter into. And so for me, it was all about just, I literally had locked myself in my room and read my Bible. And the only person I saw for 6 months was my pastor's wife. And
okay, so she didn't say that she was gone for 6 months. She said she literally didn't talk to any friends for 6 months. Now, what about here in the 8 months? So let's do, I'll just type in months. Okay, here we go. So we'll just listen to this right here.
It was unhealthy and it was just ego fueling. So I locked myself in my room, basically turned into a hermit for about a good 8 months. The only person I would see outside of my family was my pastor's wife, and we would go to the church.
Okay, so she has a little 8 month, 6 month discrepancy, but it's not like a crazy discrepancy. She doesn't say she locked herself in for 6 months, though. She said she didn't see anybody for 6 months. That's a little bit different, because in the other video, she said she locked herself in her room for 8 months. That doesn't mean she didn't have friends come in after 6 months and go, hey, let's hang out. I'll come to your house. We'll sit in your room. What have you been doing? We want to check on you. And she probably was like, oh, yeah, I'll show you what I've been up to. And let them in her room. You see the difference there, Candace? See, now, if it was exactly the same, if she was like, I locked myself in my room for 6 months, and then said, I locked myself in my room for 8 months, you might have a point. You might have a point. But she didn't even say that, Candace, so you were just wrong.
And I just had her pour into me. We would meet for lunch or coffee, and I didn't see any of my friends. I didn't do anything. I just was so focused on that.
Okay, hear it again. This time she locked herself in her room. She's just focused on the Bible. Self-taught. I mean, how much of the Bible could you read if that was the only thing that you were doing for, she says 6 months there, 8 months on a different podcast, but it's Erika, so we're not going to hold her to anything consistent. 6 to 8 months. How much of the Bible could you read? And like I said, she presented to it like that was her aha moment. She finally got to have this experience with the Bible because she learned it for real this time. Well, you might assume that she then became familiar with the Bible, but when it comes to Erika, you should never make an assumption, because now we're going to fast forward to her telling Sage Steele the story about how she got acquainted with the Bible, thanks to a Christian friend of hers, not in 2008, but in 2016. Take a listen.
The first time I ever read the Bible cover to cover was 2016, and it changed my life. It absolutely changed my life, and that's when I started. So it was me and another friend, and I put together the Bible reading program, and I sent it to my friend. I said, do it with me. I was like, because I don't know what I'm doing, and you've been a Christian your whole life, and I just want to have an accountability partner. Like, please read this with me. 2016, finished the whole thing. It was a wild year. Wow. And after that, everything was in Technicolor, and I was like, I get it now. I get it.
That gives me
And it
chills.
made me, and it's really interesting, because then if ever I do go back to sit in the Catholic Mass, I'm like, now I get the Catholic side even more now after having read the Bible. So I wish that there was more, because even when you go to confirmation class and like all the thing, I just wish they would have, and some Catholic churches are great at this. Some Catholic high schools are great at this. Unfortunately, mine weren't as good from the standpoint of, get your own Bible and let's crack it open. It was never really like.
So I'm not going to lie. Look, I'm a very slow reader, and I can show you exactly where I am at in my Bible right now. I'll grab it for y'all real quick, and I've been reading it literally for over a year now, okay? I'm going to show you. Literally right here, okay? And I can open up the exact page to where I'm at. It is literally, not even kidding. Okay? I'm on page 26 and 27. Apparently, Candace thinks that this thing's an easy read. But when you're trying to understand exactly what it means, and you go through it, I read it here at my desk, and I read like one passage at a time, one paragraph. And then, you know what I do? I pull up Google, and I go to the thesaurus, and I go to fully understand what it means and everything about it. That's what it means to try and understand the Bible, because if you just read this cover to cover, it's going to be really, really difficult to understand. Very difficult, okay? So I sit here in front of it, and that's probably why it took Erika months and months and months to read even part of it. It has been over a year. This, what is this translation? This is a Gideon Bible, so it's international. Let's see, it's the, right? Is it, let me see. Where does it say it? Suggested readings. I don't want this, wait. Is it here? Came from the Gideon. But I'll show you all something really, really cool in a second, because I cannot wait. I'm just going to read the Old Testament in this book, and then I switch to a different one. This is National Publishing Company. Okay, here, well, oh, here it is. Here it is, right here. This is the King James Version. Okay, so this is a King James Bible. Probably why it's so hard for me to understand it. But let me go put this up, and I'll show you the next Bible that I got. This one is the New Testament. Just the New Testament. And it is black on white here. White lettering on black pages. Ultimate dark mode. That's how serious I am about dark mode, Gary. You're watching. Paramount Tactical. Actually literally using, for some reason, light mode here. Can't be doing that. Even my Bible is in dark mode. Take that. Okay, I'm gonna go put this up, guys. Oh, if y'all want to know, this thing was like, let's see, who makes this? Who makes this Bible? I would like to shout them out, because it's pretty cool. Oh, come on, you don't even put your company name in here? You're kidding me. Really? Guys, how am I supposed to tell people whose this is? It's like Monochrome or something like that is the company. But I'd like to be dead sure. Also, it comes with the little bookmarky thing. I like those. I like books that come with that, so I don't have to actually invest in a bookmark. So there's that. Yeah, I'm not paid to do that or anything. That'd be cool to get getting advertised, like, get paid to do that. But anyway, I thought it was too cool of a Bible. I really like that a lot. They also, I think, made one that's like red. They had like a limited edition one that was like red with like black lettering on it or white lettering. It'd be kind of cool. But it was like way too expensive. I was like, I am not paying that kind of money for a book at all. I think it was like $200 or something. And I was just like, sorry, no, no, not doing that.
Like that.
I don't know. I don't know what's up. I don't know what's down. With Erika, it's just, you don't know what the story is. Like, you could say.
Okay. So, because she locked herself in a room and was with her pastor and all that, for some reason you think that means she would have read the book cover to cover, front to back, all the way through, when she never even made that claim. But, okay.
She didn't read it cover to cover in the first 8 months, but I would imagine she didn't need her friend and turn to a friend 8 years later and go, what am I doing? If she had 8 months to study the Bible with a pastor, I think a pastor would be better suited than a friend. I just don't know.
I mean, maybe they would have been better suited, maybe? Or maybe she wanted to just do that with a friend and go, hey, what if we just start from beginning to end and not stop? Because a lot of the times, I can tell you this, pastors, they absolutely don't just like go cover to cover with it. That's not what they do. And it's actually kind of foreign to do that, believe it or not, Candace. Most of the time, they pick out lessons of the Bible and reteach those. That's most of the time what happens in churches. I very rarely ever find a church going, okay, we're starting from the beginning, and then every single Sunday we are just going to talk about this part, this part, this part. Do you know how long it would take you to get to the end? It would be impossible. It would be absolutely impossible. What about new people that come in? They're going to come in the middle of the lesson. They're going to be like, hey, hold on. In 5 years, we'll get back to the beginning of the Bible. I don't think that's probably a good idea. That's probably not a good idea to run a church service, in my opinion. I don't think that's probably the best way to do it, but okay. You recommend the NASB, more accurate, faster read? North American something? What's NASB? Let me see. NASB Bible. Let me guess. A highly literal word-for-word translation renowned for its accuracy to original Hebrew. Oh, is that you're a butthole. Are you trying to mess with me? That's actually funny. Yeah. It's actually directly translated from Hebrew in the most literal sense. So no, that'd be way harder to read. That's awesome though. That'd been hilarious if you got me to do that. Oh, North American Study Bible. Oh. Oh, okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. Did this give up a different thing? Oh, no. This is New American Study Bible, a highly literal word-for-word translation renowned for its accuracy to the original Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek text. Primarily used for its depth in study. Would that make for a faster read, though? Let me see. Maybe I misunderstood. It sounded funny at first, like it was like actually just super duper literally translated, so it wouldn't make sense. But maybe that's not the case. Known for formal equivalence, the NASB prioritizes translating words and syntax directly from original languages over paraphrasing. Okay, originally updated in 1971. All right, maybe I will check it out. It just sounded like the description that it was giving, because keep in mind, I was reading an AI description. But that would have been so funny if it was, if you were just like, yeah, it's super, like, I just imagined it being super duper literal to the exact word. Because, you know, like, I don't know, one Hebrew word I know is definitely goy and goyim, which just means nations. And, or nation, and then goyim means nations. So it'd be just very funny to hear that stuff directly translated. You know what I mean, right? Like, when you do a direct translation, like from Japanese to English, it's very much not, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But anyway, let's get back to, we'll finish this off here.
What is real with Erika? She gives me the vibe of someone whose
we're back to
brain
vibes.
has been rerouted. Like the pathways in her brain have been rerouted from the time that she's a child. Like she just had to lie so much that she doesn't even recognize that what she's doing is lying. Like she just says something and it's like, this is what works in this room, exactly as Elizabeth Lane described it. This is what works in this room. This is who I have to be. Okay, I'm sitting with Sage and I'm trying to now explain what brought me back to the Catholic thing. Like maybe I need to be Catholic this week, or maybe I need Protestant next week. So I said it at that podcast that I did it because I didn't have an appreciation for Catholicism, but now I'm saying that studying the Bible made me have an appreciation for Catholicism, which I wasn't getting. It's so all over the place.
Yeah, she converted in 2024.
I don't know what to make of it. I don't know, other than someone who was programmed and has had to tell so many different stories that she can't really pedal backwards. She just kind of just keeps going and just keeps swimming and just keeps swimming. And what she's going to say tomorrow is not.
Like, there's no evidence to back anything that Candace is saying whatsoever right now. Absolutely nothing. She has provided nothing. She has insinuated certain situations for Erika. Like going, well, you locked yourself in your room to study the Bible for 8 months, and then you're like, but the first time you read it cover to cover was like 8 years later. And it's like, yeah, that's also possible, Candace. Studying the Bible is not reading it cover to cover. That's not what that means necessarily. There's many different ways, and churches don't even go cover to cover when they're teaching the Bible. That's not what they do. Kelly McKinnon. Oh, thank you so much for the 20. Thank you. That's very nice of you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much. But yeah, it doesn't make sense, Candace. Like, you're sitting here and you're filling in blanks that were never given. They were never, ever, ever given. Erika Kirk never said she read the book cover to cover when she disappeared for 8 months. She never made that claim.
Not going to be what she said yesterday. It's too many lies. She is obviously not fit to be the CEO and chairman of Turning Point USA, just on the basis of the amount of dishonesty that we can just show you using her own words.
Candace has not said really very much what she was actually directly dishonest about. Hasn't said anything. What specifically did Erika Kirk lie about? I want you to phrase it in your own words. Tell me exactly what you think she lied about.
Okay? Just using Erika's own words. Trying to make sense of anything is a very difficult task. Anyway, we are going to be back after a break. All right, you guys.
Not watching your stupid break. Man, you just plugged so much crap. Guys, don't ever let me do that, please. Don't ever let me have like 20 sponsors in a show. Just ridiculous. Completely ridiculous.
Erika was born into something. I have that general sense. I will say that. Do you think something happened to her in her childhood? Tesseract. Well, I'm going to give you tomorrow Tesseract's direct ties to Fort Huachuca. Man, it's just
I just had a right now. All right, let's just. I'm curious. Let's go to Grok. And, oh yeah, I made that. Let's do a new thing. What are the Tesseract schools' connection to Fort Chu? Is it with an H, I think? Oh, I put for real instead of Fort. Here we go. Bam. Let's just see. Let's see what they could dig. I'm very curious. Maybe she has inside information, or maybe it's available on the public web. Okay. There's no direct documented connection between Tesseract schools and Fort Octua, a U.S. military installation in southern Arizona for all this. Okay. Tesseract School operated as a non-profit private educational institution. Okay, it faced itself financial issues in the years, including parent company and some, okay, all this good stuff, whatever. Mentions leaking Tesseract to Fort Octua here appear in online conspiracy-oriented discussions. TikToks, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and X posts often tied to recent podcasts or claims about individuals like Erika Kirk. These speculations on symbolic or hidden ties, such as the school name, the prior Looking Glass building, invoking Project Looking Glass, a conspiracy, okay, yeah. Broader claims of the elite intelligence connections with them, okay, yeah. These are unsubstantiated theories circulating in fringe online spaces, tying into time travel, intelligence ops, and all that. But of course, you know, somehow, Charlie time traveled, okay? Get a load of this, because it has to start with the time traveling. Everything has to start with time travel. There is no end of time travel. It's the beginning always. Because if you time travel, you go back to the beginning. Now, if we do that, and he traveled through time, his beginning had to start when he got here. And then at that moment, when he time traveled here, the government was like, one of these days, Charlie Kirk's going to get really close to President Trump. And he's going to stop him from bombing Iran. So we have to make sure we develop the perfect girl for Charlie. So we'll do that. And then we're going to make her have a tranny shoot him from the top of a building to cover it all up. And then she's going to take over TPUSA. And then he'll never have that opportunity to tell Trump not to, you know what I mean? To not bomb Iran. Or they could have just went back in time, found them a pair of these, and used it on his mom. I probably would be easier. Hey, Doc, by the way, when you're delivering Charlie's mom, oops, accidentally slit the part that makes her have kids. She'll grow up infertile. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Nothing to see here. Time travel back. Bam, Charlie Kirk's never born. Now he can't tell Trump not to bomb Iran. I had these because I was clipping guitar strings. I just restrung the guitar. Anyway, yeah. So, all in all, that's where Candace's theory's going on here. Now, I don't know where the Egyptians come into play at all with this. Maybe they're the ones who had the time traveling technology. They're the Sumerians, right? So maybe that's where Egypt comes in at. Ukraine, I'm not sure. In the Borman B cult, I can't even begin to tell you how that fits into the story. Same with Israel. Maybe Israel because they're kind of close to the Sumerian technology too. So we'll just throw them in the same. Israel and Egypt are the same thing. So we'll just do that. How about Justin Bieber and Britney Spears' handlers? How do they fit into this? I'm really curious. So I wonder how they do this, you know? It's just so weird. It's very, very weird to me. But anyway, let's listen to some of her comments here.
Everywhere, right at the very beginning, I would very much bet that Erika knows what Fort Huachuca is. That just feels right to me.
Yeah, of course she would. Of course she's going to know. It's in her freaking state. She's probably going to know what it is. She never said she didn't know what a Fort Huachuca is. That's never happened.
Anyway, that will be tomorrow. Top comments from Friday's episode. Brigitte, if you're reading this, you are still not off the hook. That was hilarious. Number one.
Wow,
Second
funny.
comment is hiding in Ben Shapiro's eyebrows to watch this. These always make me laugh. Also, I remind you guys, if you want to support our show, you can head to CandaceOwens.com and you can buy merch available on the website. Easiest way to support us.
God, it's another plug.
Fellow Goyam comment. The Rock writes.
I thought we were done.
You guys are thinking. Nance The Rock writes, great work, Candace. Thank you. That was a very big tip. So thank you very much, Nance the Rock. Want to glorify God writes, sure, Erika, you never dated for 5 years in New York. You never.
She could have made a really good Jewish joke with that one. That's the one she fumbles. Was the really big tip. Great.
Ever entered beauty pageants. You stayed at home for 8 months studying the Bible. You never checked Charlie's texts. You never knew Charlie was afraid for his life. Charlie had a neck of steel, dangerously pathological. Yeah, she's pathological. I would say that. I can't, there's no other explanation. I mean, unless she's telling the truth and Charlie didn't tell her. And maybe they all did know who he thought was going to kill her. The only way that would make sense is if Charlie thought Erika was going to kill him and didn't text Erika. I wouldn't text Erika. Erika's going to kill me.
Right. And he just never went public with it. And he never, never told anybody else. You're right, Candace. That just makes so much sense. Because if I got direct threats, I would be posting them here. I would be posting them on this platform. I've had gotten one direct threat from a guy threatening to blast me with a shotgun because don't F with him. And I was like, really? I was like, what are you so mad about? That I said something online that you would actually take a weapon, and he never, ever responded back. Some crazy extreme leftist said that to me. So there's that.
Otherwise, why is your husband not telling you he thinks he's going to die?
I'll see if I can find it.
Now you can make the argument like, oh, you want your wife not to be worried or stressed out about your impending assassination, which is likely coordinated by a foreign government. But I feel like maybe after you were assassinated and you had the phone and access to Dan Flood, who as I broke the story, he did not get fired from Turning Point USA. He had one job, he effed it up, but he did not get fired for some strange reason, which a grieving widow might do. I feel like Dan should have told you that. Andrew Colbert, the PR guy, should have told you that. You guys are coming up together on Charlie's day of Charlie's burial. You're plotting together to say, what should we tell the public? Oh, we'll say he had a steel neck like Superman. He didn't mention that to you? A little sidebar? Sorry to feel bad for Andrew Colbert. I feel bad that they've made him be the person that has to lie and he's kind of catching all these strays, but she's been the hand directing him. I now know that because of the firings. Erika has been directing the messaging from the very beginning. So she went straight from her husband being assassinated to assuming the chairman and CEO to Zoom calls and directing the PR messaging. Andrew's out here catching strays. I don't know why you do it, Andrew. I've got an idea, though. We're going to get to that. Maybe Erika's not the only person who was born into something, hey? Objectio writes, the biggest winners of the CK-EK investigation are the Macrons. It's been half a year, and Candace has barely mentioned Brigitte's dangling. Hey, I actually said today, look, this person looks like Brigitte. Again. So a little joke there. Sonia here for Truth writes, Candace, we are behind you. Keep going, Max. You, your family, and your team are always in my thoughts and prayers. The truth sets us free, and we are free to seek truth. Christ is King. Jesus is Lord of all. Agreed. And thank you for the support. And Jurok writes, Urban Becks, the same ones committing fraud in Cincinnati, the home builder fraud, the bank folding fraud. I don't think you saw Friday's episode. You should go watch that. Yes, that's Erika's uncle, Rick. Now, she could be, to be clear, not suggesting that they are his actual uncle, she's got some family that she claims to be her family. You know, Nicole Rothstein, cousin. She's over there saying, this is my family's dedication. I don't know if this girl has a full-blown personality disorder where she just becomes the thing in every room, or if she's just like, hey, we've been close, and people do that casually. We'll say, like, that's my uncle. Like, I would, if have got a best friend and they have children, you say, oh, that's her aunt, that's her uncle. I don't know. I don't know what she means by that. And, we can shoot her a question after the show and ask for clarity of whether it's a funkle or a bloodline uncle. I think it's probably just what she calls him because they're close. Tammy Gauss writes, so with Erika's new timeline, how did she manage to read the Bible cover to cover? Oh, wait, I know. She read between all her dates with her sports boys, her cabot, and dates. I didn't see her
make the claim that she read the Bible cover to cover in her room in the 8 months. Did you guys see that? Did I miss that?
During her summer house era, I thought the same thing. I was like, well, 2016 was a bit of a wild year for Erika. You're telling me she also had time to read the Bible cover to cover? That's pretty hard. That's pretty hard to do if you actually had nothing to do, which is what she did for 8 months, where I personally feel like she was maybe training somewhere. Otherwise, why try to wipe that year? by claiming that you played basketball for another year when you didn't. I don't know. I feel like she was doing some Christian training, perhaps. Again, it's my opinion. It's my podcast. I'll share my opinion. Misty writes, why are they still calling it the Charlie Kirk Show? It's time to retire the name in respect of Charlie's memory. How about the Turning Point Show? I think that wouldn't even do it justice.
What happened to that email?
Turning Point makes people think that it's Charlie's legacy. It's not. They should rename the company. They should rename it Shabbat Shalom.
No archive.
Shabbat Shalom USA. And that would be a better representation of its new leadership, its new opinions, neocons, which Charlie could not stand. These people, he couldn't stand them at all. And there's no grieving widow on the face of the planet, a truly grieving widow who could bear to be around the enemies of your assassinated husband in that regard. So everything in every manner that she is moving registers to me as someone who is a pathological liar, and which we've proven already. We haven't even gotten into all the other lies. We haven't even gotten.
You haven't even shown anything that she's lied about. You really haven't. That's the bad thing about it. You take little tiny possible contradictions and you fill in gaps. You literally said she locked herself in a room for 8 months, and then because she said she didn't see anybody for 6 months, that means she didn't really lock herself in a room for 8 months, which isn't actually accurate. That just means that they may have went and visited her in her room. During that time, she had a 6-month period straight, no matter what, without contact of friends, and then she literally may have had 2 months during that 8-month seclusion where she literally allowed friends to come in and see her. Like, it's not that crazy, Candace. I mean, it's kind of crazy to do that, but it's not that crazy to assume that's what happened when she didn't contradict herself in any of those interviews. That's kind of my point. So, yeah, that's just what's really, really weird about it. Yeah, here's a ring bleeding from all the dog whistles. Yeah, for sure, man. Whatever happened with Mitch Snow? Oh, he's gone. She doesn't need him anymore. She wants that story to die. She needs that story to die. That's what happened with Mitch Snow.
Into her relationships, we haven't even taken you further through her backstory and how she was brought to Turning Point USA. There are so many more lies, but I think what we could
maybe you should focus on those instead of her like parents and grandparents that don't have anything to do with any of this whatsoever. Maybe that would be a better idea for you, Candace.
Agree on just this far in is the fact that we know nothing about Erika Kirk, and I don't think Erika knows anything about Erika Kirk. I think she was created. And I mean that genuinely.
I'm sure you are genuinely opening up Erika Kirk's mind right now as we speak. She is just blown away and goes, wow, I can't believe that I was created this way. Okay.
Anyway, reminding you again, if you would like to support the show, please head to CandaceOwens.com, buy some merch, sign up for a subscription, and join the book club. We have another meeting on Friday. We just started a new book.
And then immediately to another advertisement. That's like, she's got to have like 12 advertisements in this thing. I don't want anybody ever getting mad at me again for saying, please like and subscribe to my channel, because that's all I do. Come on, I could be like this, guys. I could literally have like 12 advertisers in a video. Like, come on. Come on now. I think I at least get a pass to ask people to like and subscribe. I think I get that at least, right? Anyway, this ought to be just the thumbnail itself right now at this point, because she completely lied about Charlie Kirk and what he had said about what happened with Iran in the first place. So it turns out Charlie Kirk completely and totally agrees with what Trump is doing in Iran right now. Without a doubt. For anybody who may have missed it. Charlie Kirk literally, the first time Trump struck Iran this June, or last June, he said Iran gave President Trump no choice. For a decade, he has been adamant that Iran will never get a nuclear weapon. Iran decided to forego diplomacy in pursuit of a bomb. This is a surgical strike operated perfectly. President Trump acted with prudence and decisiveness. It's beautifully well said. Exactly how I felt about the situation as well, and how I feel about it today. And yet Candace Owens thinks Charlie would be the opposite. This goes to show that she didn't know Charlie that well. Hey, it happens, right? It's sad, but that's just the facts. Oh, man. So let's, I'm going to talk to you guys for a little bit, then I'm going to have to get off here and put the kiddos down to bed. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. She's still reading the Talmud book that is considered very unreliable. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, seriously. Who gives a crap about the Talmud? It's a bunch of people debating on what should be, or like essentially debating on what their religion should be. It's not the word of God. The Torah is the word of God. So the fact that they would even be considering a Talmud at all, people like that, it's just silly, right? I don't know. It just is what it is. Let them read it, but it doesn't mean anything. I don't really care what their Talmud is about. They should even know themselves it's not the word of God. It's just a bunch of rabbis debating each other, which to me I don't care about. And there is no the Talmud also. There's two of them. There's the Babylonian one and the, what is it? What are the two Talmuds? The Mishnah and the Gemara. The Mishnah is compiled in 200 CE, is written code of Jewish oral laws, while the Gemara, whatever, compiled in 500 CE, which is both inaccurate because, you know, this is obviously, oh, well, I guess the Jewish people would probably like that, right? Because they technically kind of were one of the reasons why Jesus was killed. So, you know, there's that. And in that sense, I can understand them not wanting to say after death, right? It kind of does suck to be slapped on with that. But whatever. I'm not bending the knee on this. It's after death. It's AD. There's before Christ and after death. And everyone else can just get over it. Is the written code of Jewish oral law. Anyway, we got over that. Is the extensive rabbinic analysis, commentary, and discussion of the Mishnah. Okay. So that's where the confusion is. That's why Charlie Kirk was saying there's one that's good and one that's kind of silly. Now I understand it. So the Mishnah is the actual real Talmud. And then the Talmud that everybody has a problem with is the Gemara, which is them debating the Mishnah. Gotcha. Makes sense now. I always get it wrong usually, but this time I think I got it nailed down. Hopefully that this is right. But actually, I think I do read this every time. Yeah. There are two versions of the Talmud. The Babylonian, which is the most authoritative. This is the Mishnah. And then there's the Jerusalem Talmud, which is going to be the Gemara. And the Jerusalem Talmud is the people that is the one that they have a problem with. I think, unless they're flipped. If they didn't put them in order, I'm going to be very irritated. But the fact that this is the most authoritative one probably means that this is the one that, you know, obviously, because why else would they be debating? Why would debates be more authoritative than the actual one that's written? You know what I mean? Like, in a sense, like, just makes more sense. Two Talmuds. So, anyway, there's that. So, Talmud is basically old commentary of rabbis and other theologians throughout history. It's just commentary. Yeah, I mean, it's just, that's my point. The fact that people are taking the Talmud this serious when it's not a serious, like, it's serious, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to, like, at all be like, well, your work was not good, because obviously these are people that were studying, and it doesn't matter what it was. It could be musical theory. Obviously, it would still be important because they put in a lot of work to understanding it, right? So, just saying. AD Anno Domini, the year of the Lord. Yeah. No, for sure. But I mean, still, I understand. But yeah. Anyway, from what I'm saying, they did good work. Don't get me wrong. They're debating it. They're figuring it out. It's all the same. It's science. It's pretty much science books for the Torah. It's science books for the Torah. It's okay. Here is what the Torah says. Now here is our observable observation of what we have seen and what we think this means and everything along those lines and what laws we should follow and how we should act, and you get what I'm saying. It's pretty much the whole Jewish code of conduct. It's literally the book that tells them to be kosher. You know what I mean? It's just, who cares? It's a book of tradition, as far as I'm concerned, an understanding of what the Torah said. So, you know. All of that to say, I'm not worried about it. And even if they're like, oh, well, look at how everybody else outside of us is bad, only Jews are good. Okay, cool. They have a supremacist book. I don't know of many races that don't. At least, you know, the ones that can read and write. But that's beside the point, neither here nor there. But, I mean, every organization, every single person had a supremacy book. You know, every single one has some sort of supremacist mindset to some degree in some facet of their culture. Just kind of the nature of the game. People are very tribalistic, you know? But only some of them are bad. Now, depending on, of course, levels of violence and stuff like that, yes, you can argue that some is better than others. I could absolutely argue that some person's prejudice is better than another person's prejudice, depending on what it is they're talking about. If they're like, well, I don't like these type of people, and then the other prejudice is, oh, we must genocide these types of people. Yeah, obviously that would be two different levels of supremacy. That one would be a lot more acceptable than the other. At the end of the day, none are acceptable, but I'm just saying, obviously there can be nuance, right? Murder's always going to be bad. Violence is always going to be bad. People who are just like, I don't like this, that's bad too. But obviously, how can you compare the two? You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. I get it though, at the end of the day. But anyway, she should see what's written in the Quran. Yeah, right? Yeah, she won't talk bad about the Quran. It's really weird. It's almost like Qatar might be, I don't know. Qatar might be doing a little something there, but I don't know. I don't have necessarily full-fledged proof, except for Tucker Carlson. I know for sure that Tucker Carlson is getting paid by Qatar because he got paid by Qatar publicly when they gave him a mansion and land. So there's that. Let's see. Thanks for staying on Candace's case. Good to see some channels standing out. Yeah, I appreciate that. These people have never read the Talmud. They get the neo-propaganda of the Talmud off social media, and it's either twisted or totally made up. Yeah, I mean, there is that too. I've never read it. I'm not going to dig deep into it because I don't care what Jewish people believe. I genuinely don't. It doesn't, in any way, shape, or form, really, I'm just not super duper interested, I guess, I'm just now getting into the Bible, one stepping stone at a time, you know what I mean? And I'm already having a hard time getting through that because understanding it's tough. It's tough, Think I'm going to crack open the Talmud next? Maybe the Talmud would be easier to read, in a sense, because it is definitely during Roman times, which, like the New Testament, much easier to read. Don't need nearly as much help reading that because it was written in Roman times. Translating from Latin to English is way easier than translating Hebrew into English, by far. So that's why the Old Testament's so difficult and the New Testament is much, much easier. So, there is that. And then going through the Talmud, I imagine it was probably also done similarly. I doubt that they were, I don't know, maybe they were or weren't. I wonder if the Talmud, were the Talmuds written in Hebrew or Latin? Let's see. Combination of Hebrew and Aramaic, not Latin. Okay, so maybe never mind. It may be just as hard to understand then. Okay. Yeah. If that's the case, I'm not going to get into reading the Talmud anytime soon. There's just no freaking way. I'm going to have to sit here with another webpage pulled open reading the Talmud while trying to get through the Bible. I don't got that kind of time. There's no way. So I don't know. I'm just probably not going to do that. But then I got to rely on other people telling me what it says. And that's the catch-22, isn't it? So I don't know. I'll have to just get a bunch of different sources on it. Stay tuned into the Bible. I promise it's all facts. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm not going to quit, but I also have if I don't understand something, I'm not going to move on from it, which is why I'm so slow. So I have to type it into Google and be like, what the heck does any of this mean? You know what I mean? Who are these people? What are their pronunciations? All of it bothers me. If I can't pronounce a word, I'll have to go in here and I'll have to type it in and figure it out. And that's why it takes so long. Like, takes 7 years to study? Yeah, probably. At least for me. I imagine people are much better at reading than I am, though. In general, it's not my strong suit. It's just not. So, there's that. Well, 91% that she will tell people to vote Democrat, 9% that she won't. You 9%ers had a lot better of a gut feeling than I did. I didn't vote in this, so I couldn't vote in this. But I actually was going to side with the she will side. I guess she's going to probably not do that yet because that's probably going to screw her over. I think Nick Fuentes is finding out right now. I think Fuentes is finding out actually that was not a smart idea to tell people to vote Democrat. So, yep, we'll end the poll there. There's no point because obviously anybody who votes now will know the answer. Don't think the Talmud is meant to be read. Do you mean the Tanakh? Wait. I thought Tanakh just meant Jewish nations, literally. Is there a Tanakh? I don't know. What is the Tanakh? The Tanakh is a canonical coalition of Hebrew scriptures and the foundational text of Judaism. Oh, wait a minute. The Tanakh is like the second half of the Old Testament, right? So there's the Torah. Right. The Torah and the Tanakh make up the Old Testament entirely. That's right. But I thought, what does Tanakh mean? I thought it meant Torah law. Okay, prophets. I thought it meant nations with Jews, or nations of Jews. That's weird. It's interchangeably with the Hebrew Bible, Mikra. Okay, I'll get rid of this. Does Tanakh mean nation of Jews? I thought it did. It's an acronym for the Hebrew Bible, representing the... Oh, really? This is an acronym. This is how they freaking shortened it? All right. That's one way to do it, I guess. Yeah, that does not look like a... I don't think they saved any time. What's the full name? Like, acronym breakdown, TNK. Oh, Torah, Nevi'im, Ketuvim. Okay. What's the word that means... Okay. Hold on. What word mean... nation of Jews in Hebrew... What is the opposite word of goy or goyim? Yehudi or Yehuda. I guess it just got it wrong. I was reading about this on I typed it in Grok, and it said that goyim or goy meant non-Jewish persons or nations, and that Tanakh meant Jewish person and Jewish nation. Good job, Grok. Can't rely on AI for crap. Really can't. But you can rely on him to tell you if somebody has put information out there or not. So there's at least that. It does that exceedingly well. But man, AI is super duper limited. It's just not ready yet. Nowhere near. So the Torah, okay, so the Tanakh is part of the Torah, the Nevi'im, or whatever it is. So anyway, time to edit in a little hat for Artie. I could use a little hat. That'd be funny. I don't think it would stick to my head, right? Long hair. I don't know. I like to think that there's a bald spot under there, and they just, you know what I mean? That'd be so funny. I'd like to think that and that's probably why they shaved them. You know, they shave a bald spot there. It's not that they're naturally bald. They just need to lick and stick that thing on. How does it stay on? I really want to know. I need to get one of those hats and just try it on, because it's like, how in the world does that work? I've always wondered, but never done it. Never done it at all. I'm not really a hat guy, though. I really don't like hats. Just keep reading your Bible, speak Spanish so you read it in Spanish, and then read it in English, and then you see what the words mean in Hebrew. Yeah, it is very time-consuming. It definitely is. So, there's that. Use clips. Hey, anybody can clip this, really, and put it out there if it helps get the channel out there and stuff. You know. Yeah, people can clip and stuff. You know. It's fun. I like seeing people's clips. I like seeing what people send me. There's sometimes I do things in that I didn't see as funny at first that I'll do just in the live stream. Someone will clip it and I'll be like, oh man, that's really good. That's an awesome clip. So yeah, you know, I appreciate it. I see people every now and then. Tag me on X about it. Pretty soon, guys, I might be advertising Truth Social instead of X. I'm going to always continue to use X to get news and stuff on the channel. Mainly because it's the most up-to-date. Truth just does not get it out there that quickly. Their trends suck. But when it comes to interacting with you guys, I either want to have you guys in my Discord or possibly on Truth Social if X does not fix the mistake. I've got to get X to literally stop charging me on the account they banned. And I got banned. Guess why I got banned, guys? As far as I can tell, I got banned because I followed too many people too quickly. And they will not reinstate my account. It is like I have committed the ultimate sin. There's no path of redemption. There's none of that they always promised. No, it's I followed two people too quickly on the platform. So they thought I was a bot, and then they permanently banned me. And even though I keep emailing them and keep going, guys, stop charging me monthly. Let me at least cancel that and use my new account. Please unban this account. And they even told me that they unbanned the account too. They even told me that they unbanned the account. It is absolutely stupid wild. As a matter of fact, I can pull that up real quick too, just to show you guys how stupid X actually just is. Like, they are just plumb stupid. Hi, we're writing to let you know we've unsuspended your account. You should you run into any trouble logging back, try requesting a password or email, da-da-da-da-da, and then it comes here. Your account was suspended due to multiple or repeat violations. Literally after I asked them, I was like, hey, why is my account not unbanned? Just unbelievable. It's an older account. They banned it for no reason. And it's _Arthemesia_ is what it was called. And I still really don't know why they banned me. I really don't. And now they keep charging monthly premium, $10 a month, to keep the account verified. And they will not let me cancel it. Now, the only way that this account's not banned. This is my newer account. I created it months ago. This account is not banned.
Between America.
What sucks is if I have to have my bank stop payment on X, I will not be able to get an X membership on this account. And that's what really sucks, which really does suck because they also limited this account now for no reason because I kept complaining. So then they limited this account and said that my visibility is very limited on my account now. So now my account has limited visibility. And I have 578 followers now, which is actually about the most I've ever had on X. Because every time I get a decent amount of people over onto X, they ban me. And I don't know why. I've had like 5 accounts banned. I genuinely don't know why every single time. They will not share it with me. So, I don't know, guys. I do have a Discord, though. If you guys do want to join Discord, it's linked in the description below. Where's my description on here? I'll just go here and I'll show you guys. So, I genuinely don't know why every single... There we go. There we are. And you could just go down here to the description. Boom. And you could see my Dark Path channel is listed here. Okay. My music channel, if you guys want to check that out. I'm going to upload a cover song to that before too long. I'm going to do like something else. I've only done one so far, but if you guys want to check that out, that's cool too. Here's my Discord though, right here. You go to Discord right there, click that, and that will take you there. Here's my Truth Social. Here's my Rumble, Odyssey, and Intoxigaming, which I do with my buddy. All that stuff's down there. Oh man, 188 likes. I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all. But yeah, so it's all there. Not convinced X is free speech is... It's clearly not. It's clearly not at all. What is this? People please wake up. Wait, from what? She's using witchcraft on her platform. People are buying into... Wait, who's she? Candace? Is Candace using witchcraft? I don't know if she knows how to do that. She doesn't seem like she's smart enough to even do the most basic things at this point. Because I catch her in so many errors. I catch Candace in so many freaking errors. It's wild. Constantly, I'm clipping and showing that she got so many things wrong. It's very, very frustrating and annoying. She got the thing wrong about the, whatever people with the K. I cannot freaking pronounce that or think about it. The Kazakhs or whatever. I keep wanting to call it that. Whatever they are. But it doesn't matter. And it was clear she was very, very wrong about the book that she was quoting. She tried to say that Erika Kirk locked herself in a room and read the Bible cover to cover, but then Erika never made that claim. She tried to say she changed it to 6 months. She actually did not change it to 6 months. She said she didn't see anybody for 6 months. Locked herself away and did not see anybody. So, I mean, it's just things like that, and Candace tries to fill in the blanks, and it's like, well, you can't just do that. You can't just assume what somebody meant. You have to know what somebody meant. And she didn't phrase it that way. And if she doesn't phrase it that way, then you can't sit there and say she meant it a different way. That's not fair. You know? Candace gets to decide exactly what Erika said, or Erika meant. She gets to decide her intentions. And that's not right. You know, that's not right. It's not even close to right. So, anyway. Loser Candace has no material. Yeah, she really doesn't. She's ran out of evidence. She's not taking, like, she's completely ran out of evidence. It's absolutely apparent at this point. But anyway, guys, I got to go put the kids to bed. I should have actually kind of been off here about 30 minutes ago. But it is what it is. You guys are amazing. You guys make it worth it, by far. If you guys could find any of my tweets on my profile here about, like, let's see if I can, oh, hold on. Support. I'll just type in support. There we go. Right here, this one. If you guys could, I'll retweet it right now. Let's see, undo repost. I'll just repost it right now so it pops up at the very front. There we go, right here. If you guys could share this out and be like, hey, help Arthemesia here. Get his account restored and whatnot, or get like them to stop charging my account. I'd be very, very grateful. Depends if you guys want to follow me on X or not, though. Discord works too. If you guys don't care about X, we don't got to care about X. I could keep using it the way I am using it now. Does not bother me one way or the other. I think X would be a great tool to help grow my channel. Maybe. But it means just as much you all going into Discord, because then I at least get to notify you guys of my videos in a different way, and you don't have to rely on the YouTube notification system. Discord will notify you of every video I do. So there is that. So yeah, guys. But anyway, I got to hop off here for now. Thank you all so much for being here. You guys are freaking amazing. I have had so many people in my live streams now, more than usual, and just so many like people viewing my regular videos now instead of just the Candace stuff. You guys are really just doing everything you can to support me, and I can't tell you how unbelievably grateful I am for that. Genuinely, thank you guys so much. So anyway, I'll see you guys here in the next one. Later.